The Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
Hey everyone, it's Santana, and you are watching the DL Show on Dave's Guitar Channel.
All right, welcome everybody. We are back. Everybody, we have a special guest today, as you can see on the bottom, Hugh Caldwell, all the way from Glasgow. Joe should be here shortly. The guy to my left on the screen, I guess, but screen right would be Krellbar. Krellbar, how are you? Where's your mic, Krellbar? We don't hear you.
Turn it on.
Oh, yeah, turning on the mic works. That's a good start. Hey now. Jan is here. So,
Hey, Jan.
Hugh, how was your week?
Pretty good.
Been on an album listening escapade, I see.
Mm-hmm.
I have the feeling today, Hugh, you sat around all day listening to records.
Could be right there, yeah.
I'll put the needle on the record. Great record. How so what did you listen to today? Let's let everyone take a look at some of the stuff. Or is it I'm just waiting. Joe just messaged me back.
It's Raining Men. That's my go-to. Every time I say, hey, you know I listened today. What? It's Raining Men?
Yeah. It's your go-to. Horrible joke. Horrible.
I could have done the crickets, but I'm too lazy to reach for it.
That's all right. What were you listening to today, Hugh? Give us some gloss over some while we wait for Joe to come in here, and then we can get
the Glasgow
really
gloss
ripping.
I'm listening to some.
By the way, I'm enjoying a cup of Down East Coffee Roasters morning blend. I needed to wake up. I started falling asleep at 9.
Zappa Live in New York.
Now, what year is that from? Is that 78?
76.
76, yeah.
76.
What else? To some Poco.
Now that's a great record. What's it called? Feeling. What's the name of that record?
Feeling to what?
Feelings.
Good feeling to know.
A good feeling to know. Now, the opening track is a song called In Settling Down on that album.
Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely love that track. It is my favorite Poco track. It's just
Tim Schmidt on that album?
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
It's one of the first ones he's on. I think it might be the second. It's one of the early ones he's on because it's like right around what was 74? I think the Eagles already been out for 2 or 3 years. Maybe it was a 3 or 4.
Eagles came out in 74, I believe. The first.
No.
Album. Yeah, didn't it?
No, earlier than that. One of these nights is
73.
73. So the
73.
first album. So they do 2 albums? No, the first album has to be 72, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll take a look. Yeah.
73 is going to be Desperado.
I know they were formed in 71, but it's like, we'll see. Oh,
Johnny Kramer's making a kale smoothie. He's really getting ready for a.
Yeah, I was going to make a berry smoothie, but I ran out of time.
Yeah. Afterwards, we'll hear his concerto. Johnny
1973
Kramer's
Eagles.
second movement. Really? 73. You know what, though? It's like January 73, isn't it? Because it isn't like 72 in England.
No, I'm sorry. It's 72. It's 72.
All right.
73 was the Grammy they won.
Yeah. Yeah. No, like I said, that 73 was Desperado, 74 On the Border, 75 One of These Nights, 76 Hotel California, 77, 78 Nothing, 79 in the long run.
Yep. Exactly.
What else you got there, Hugh? I see you have some. Now, Hugh, you brought up a Genesis. Tell me everything you know about Project Genesis.
Project Genesis.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for getting that.
What do you want to know?
We were listening to some Genesis records today, and you made the comment that you could have picked more records than what you had. What is that, a Gretsch on your wall? How come I've never seen you play that Gretsch?
That?
Yeah.
It's George Benson Ibanez.
Oh, it's an Ibanez. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was a
Oh, wow, you got a white one?
That's
I've only seen those in natural.
It's a green? What color is that?
It looks white.
Ivory. Yeah, I've been listening to other Genesis albums. Like,
tell me something. Do they call the color ivory, or do they call it white, and you call it ivory?
I'm sure it was ivory on the.
Okay,
the
I just think it's a funny thing to say. It's ivory. It's like for a color. You know what I mean?
Aye, I know what you mean. Aye. What else we got? We got that one.
Crowbar, are you familiar with this album?
In songs, most likely. Like I say, I never was an album guy. I had all these songs on cassette that I take off.
You made it clear the proper answer is I.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah.
Before
Trespass. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Barry Bowman likes early Genesis.
Uh-huh.
Like I said, I liked early Genesis. I just think the recordings sound like somebody took the master tape and drowned it in the bathtub after they hit it with a bottle of champagne.
Oh, I've got.
I'm sorry, it was an episode of Columbo I watched yesterday where Rip Torn hit Gary Kroger on the back of the head.
Gary Kroger from Saturday Night Live?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's on an episode of Columbo.
He did 90s. Something other than Saturday Night Live. Didn't know that.
Don't remember
His name is Needleman. He is a dentist. Yeah, so it sounds underwater to me, a lot of this stuff. The recording, like we talked before we went live, we were talking about the record, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Musically and song-wise, if people are not familiar with this album, I think it's an important record. I highly, highly recommend that you go listen to The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. Barry Bowman's bringing up Phil Collins drumming. Phil Collins drumming on Fly on the Windshield. Phenomenal.
Underrated drummer.
Yeah, I mean, that record is song-wise is great. Everything-wise is great, except for when they mastered it underwater in a bathtub filled with Dr. Bronner's lavender soap. No, it just sounds like it has a film on it. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean, guys?
It sounds stuffy. It sounds stuffy. That's the way I describe it.
It's not clear. Like, there's no clarity in everything. It's like they took the treble and just rolled it off on everything. And it's like, guys, honestly.
Well, the album after the Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, which was A Trick of the Tail.
Yes, Trick of the Tail.
From then on is my favourite Genesis stuff.
It got much better sounding. Which is the one that has Follow You, Follow Me.
And then there were three.
And then there were three. A much clearer sounding record.
Great sounding record.
Absolutely.
And you go right up to in 1981 or 80, you got Duke.
Oh, I think 81. I think
81.
Abacab is a phenomenal sounding record.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I'm not going to, 83's Genesis, the eponymous album, is also fantastically recorded. But there's something about, I love the old square synths, the old like Prophets, those old Prophet synthesizers. They have such Oberheims, they have that unique sound, and you still hear it on Abacab. Like it's still 79 to like 82, there was still in the middle of figuring out those synths before like the DX7s and all that nonsense came out. There's something really, really hip that I love that sounds like vintage and modern at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not a big Who fan, but I love the record Face Dances that came out in 81. I think it has some of the best. Another Tricky Day. I just think the songs, even You Better You Bet, there's something that's analog trying to sound digital about it that I love. And I love that Genesis Abacab record.
I'll have to go back and listen to that Who album because I'm a huge Who fan and I don't listen to that whatsoever.
Oh, really? Oh, there's some great songs on that record. And I think Kenny Jones, nothing to knock Keith Moon. I am not a Keith Moon fan. I think he was good for the band. But he sounds like Animal.
He was the best. He was the best drummer in the Who. The Who.
I like him.
Yeah, but I think Kenny Jones. It's much more of a band.
Much more of a pro, you mean?
Well, they were a band. Well, I think Kenny Jones actually first played. I think Kenny Jones was actually playing on some of the songs on Tommy. If my memory serves me correctly, I'm pretty sure he's on Tommy playing a few songs that they needed like some hi-hat work on. Hey everybody, welcome in the chat. Just want to say welcome everybody. Rich, Barry, John, Rich. I said Rich. Old and Busted. Is that what it was? I can't remember if it was Old and Busted or Old Bastard. Old and Busted. Todd, what's happening? Yeah, Phil Can't Walk or Sing. Empty Glass, Rich, is a fantastic record from 1980. So many great songs on that album. I'm an Animal. Let My Love Open the Door. What was that song? Gonna Get You is a great song on Empty Glass. Jules and Jim. And I Moved. I love that record. In fact, I think Empty Glass is just as good as most of their career.
Right.
Although I might be a little hard on the Who. I do think there was some stuff that's really nice. What was that one? Actually, it was on a Pete Townsend solo record from 72. They did it first, Pure and Easy.
Right.
It's borrowed from the melody of The Song Is Over.
Uh-huh.
You know The Song Is Over.
Uh-huh.
Do you know Pure and Easy? There once was a note, pure and easy. It's almost the same song, but I like it better. Johnny Kramer says, what was up with the two guys last night getting up and singing? So the first guy that got up and sang, he sang the Bruce... No, he sang the Bruce Springsteen song. That's a guy named Danny Gallagher, and I play with Danny. We usually do 1 gig a month. So we did last month. We did at this place in Taunton, and then the month before, we did a Christmas show. The three of us, me, him, and Jim, did a Christmas show, and then me, Jim, and Emily did the New Year's show. So Danny and I have a show next week, and he sometimes he comes out to gigs. Sometimes he's like, I ask if he wants to come up and sing. Sometimes he's like, yeah. Sometimes he's like, no, we're good. But he wanted to come up and sing. I asked him to come up and sing, and he was all for it. And so we did it. And then, and it was great to have him because it throws a song we don't usually do. So we did that Bruce Springsteen song, One Step Up. And then this guy was leaving. He was like, hey, listen, guys, you were really great. I really enjoyed, from what I heard. I was only in here for about 20 minutes, whatever. And I was like, well, that's weird. That was our break. No, I'm kidding. But he played across the street at this big venue. He plays in a Steely Dan cover band.
I seen that.
So I said, why don't you come and sing? We'll do Reelin' in the Years. He goes, I really gotta go. I go, we'll do it now. He goes, if we do it right now, I'll do it. I said, giddy up, let's go. So he sang Reelin' in the Years. So it was really cool. Oh, nice, Todd. You got a PT special, the Townsend one from Eminence Front. That's
the Schecter. That's a beautiful guitar. I love that. The Telly with the white binding.
So Modern Jazz says all the best cowboys have Chinese eyes. It's and they names the 2 songs on the album that I like: Slit Skirts and Stardom and Acton. And the rest of the album I have a hard time with.
What's the one that has Rough Boys on it?
Rough Boys is Empty Glass. It's the opening track. But those 2 songs, there's a lot of songs on that album. Pains me, the Chinese Eyes album. I don't know. There's like a lot of angst. I think there's a lot of his issues he's singing about on that album. Isn't that right?
Yep.
And it unnerves me, that record, for some reason. But I do love Stardom and Acton. Oh, thanks, Johnny. Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
I grew up listening mostly to the earlier stuff with the Who.
Yeah, hold on. Johnny just said something interesting. He goes, Pete Townsend's a good guitar player. Look, a guitar player, if he's playing on a record, he's good. He's good enough to be, you know what I mean? He's good. A good player. I mean, what are you going to say? He stinks? I mean, is he personally one of my favorite players? No.
No, but you mentioned Eminence Front. You mentioned Eminence Front. That's probably some of his most in the pocket, grooviest lead playing that I know of.
Also, some of the best playing from Roger Daltrey. At least on the live terrible version. Yeah, I think it's all about his rehab, Modern Jazz. And so I have a buddy of mine, and he performed the album in its entirety. He was doing something for some rehab clinic down in Falmouth. He lives in L.A., and he flew out here to work with these guys and do it. And so they did it, and I went and saw it. And in fact, that was the last time, it was just a couple of years ago, it was the last time I saw Rock, which is the kid that played in Better Off Dead. Because he came out to the gig too. But it was, it's depressing stuff. And it's not like Empty Glass, where Empty Glass, it's like, you know, you're listening about Townsend wanting to bang some young kids. That's more enjoyable to me. I'm joking, folks. Folks, this is the part of the show we ignore.
Rough Boys.
Yeah, well, rough. Yeah, but I mean, in general,
on that album. But
look, I think on the album "Who Are You" had enough. I think "Sister Disco." I think "Guitar and Pen," "Music Must Change." I think there's some great songs on "Who Are You" that get overlooked. An album that I never really cared for was "Who by Numbers," but I love "Slit Skirts." Not "Slit Skirts." "Slip Kid." Great tune. Joined Together is a great tune.
Do you like Love Rain Over Me? I always like that song.
Well, yeah, but it's Rain Over Me.
Over Me, yeah.
Over Me. There's no V.
Apostrophe ER, yeah.
Yeah. That whole album's fantastic. In fact, my favorite song on Quadrophenia is probably Sea and Sand.
Right.
Right? I love it. Great. That's a great album. I also like, what's the song that goes, I was you and na. We only became what we made you. High and high in the sky. Is that Punk Leads the Godfather?
I think so.
I'm the punk with the stutter.
Yeah, my friend's band used to play
that. Yeah, Punk Meets the Godfather is another great tune on that record. Quad's a great album. You know what's fucked up is amazing is how good an album Who's Next is, and how it probably isn't in my favorite albums of that year. It's probably not in my top 5 of 1971. That's how good music used to be. Who's Next could be, if you put Who's Next out from 2010 or 12 to now, not only is it the best album every year, it's the best album of all 10 years. In 1971, I'm not sure it makes my top 10.
It's a perfect album.
But do you know what I mean? How many perfect albums came out in 1971? Would you rather listen to Who's Next or Fragile?
I'd probably listen to Fragile.
Who's next?
Either answer is correct. There's no wrong, right? Or the first, or not the first one. What's the name of that album? I've Seen All Good People. Also 71.
The Yes album.
The Yes album. Thank you. Yeah. 71. Led Zeppelin 4.
Yeah.
The fuck are we doing? You know what I mean? It's like, you got to be kidding me. 71.
Aye.
Yeah, Midnight Strummer says, yeah.
Hey, Johnny Kramer.
I think there is, Elroy. But yeah, so, I mean, it's just amazing because we could sit there and knock Who's Next and say, because I don't think it's the Who's best album. I think Quad's better, and I like Who Are You? And I think I like Who Are You maybe because the song Had Enough was on WKRP. Hold on, let me see if Bailey Quarters agrees. Bailey? Oh, that's Joe.
Who?
Bailey Quarters, Jan Smithers.
I love Jan Smithers.
Yeah, so did every kid that was 10 years old or 12
I
years old.
I would have taken her over Lonnie Anderson.
Black Sabbath, Master of Reality. Was that 71 Master of Reality? I think it was.
Yep, it was.
Yeah, 71. What else was 71? A good album from 71. I mean, forget the Carole King Tapestry, because that record, to me, in all honesty, yeah, it's supposed to be a good record. I hear her voice, and I'm like, can somebody get her some chorus seating? What the hell's going on here? She's got a cold. Not a fan.
It's a smelly feminist album.
And now the censors are after us.
Oh my goodness. I thought that was pretty clean.
No, I'm joking. 71, we had, what was Pink Floyd's album in 71? Metal?
Oh, that's a good album.
Was that 71 or 70?
71. 72 was Obscured by Clouds.
Let's see.
I'm pretty sure
I'm
Metal
looking-
71.
1971, Sticky Fingers, the Rolling Stones.
Oh, forget about it. Now I'm sorry. That's better than Who's Next.
That's my
One
number two.
of Hugh's favorite Dave Bowie albums, Hunky Dory.
Hunky Dory.
Modern Jazz says Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? And I will say this. 4 songs on that album are fantastic, out of the world. The rest of the album is filler. I love Marvin Gaye, but that Inner City Blues is the best song on that record. It's fantastic. What's Going On, Mercy Me, and the one that's after What's Going On, I think it's Something Brother, whatever it's called. Great. After that, Hannah Baum saying, welcome back, Joe. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place.
I know you're not a big Janis Joplin fan, but Pearl came out that year.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. You're right about that. 71, LA Woman.
ZZ Top's first album.
71 for that?
Yeah.
Great record. It sure got cold after the rain fell on that album. That's a great record.
Wasn't that Stylistics album 1971 too?
Yeah, I think you're right.
And the first Donny Hathaway.
Oh, the first one. Is that the one with Everything Is Everything? Or is that the second album? Which one had the Ghetto? Love the Ghetto. What's Happening, Brother? Thank you, Modern Jazz. Other than that, the songs, to me, it's like they're like filler. I mean, it's spacey, and he was trying to do some cool stuff. Hey, thanks, Lenny. I'm a huge, we're there in fact, Lenny, I'll be in Taunton on Friday night at the, I'll be in Taunton at the Liberty and Union Ale House. Saturday, I'll be back in Plymouth at at Martini's. And then Sunday, I'll be at Caroline's doing stand-up. Thank you, folks. No, I'm kidding. Every picture tells a jelly donut. Great one.
Yeah, the Yes album, 71. We mentioned that.
What are we talking about? Great albums from 1971?
Yeah, well, what happened was I'm talking about The Who, and I'm laughing how amazing an album Who's Next is. Like, are you familiar with the album, Joe?
Oh yes.
Okay. So how amazing is Hugh popped out. I'm sure he'll be right back. He's probably hit something. If we're at 1971, Who's Next is out. If we took Who's Next and put it out in 2012, is it the best album of the year? Clearly. It's probably the best album for the last 10 years.
It doesn't have a bad song on it.
Right. Now go back to 1971, and it's not the best album of that year. That's how great music was. Yeah. So I'm saying, what albums? 8 o'clock, Lenny. 8 o'clock. Yeah, I'll be playing with Danny Gallagher, the kid that came up and sang Madman Across the Water. Aqualung. Oh, Cross-Eyed Mary, I heard the other day.
Was Nantucket Sleigh Ride by Mountain.
You love Mountain. I love that.
Love Mountain.
Does that have theme for Imaginary Western on that one?
Oh, I think so. Let me see.
That's a good song.
No, not on that one. But that is a great song.
Yeah.
What about Master of Reality by Black Sabbath is 71? That's a Joe album.
That's one of Sabbath's best albums.
If you saw the Pope at the end of a rope, would you say he's a fool?
Yeah. That was the first album, Climbing. It had both Mississippi Queen and Theme for an Imaginary Western on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He covered that on album Theme in the 80s.
And that's, another thing.
Doobie Brothers' first album.
Yeah, it wasn't that good.
Another thing
Jesus is just all right on that.
These guys
I like that
album every year. It wasn't like, there's 7 years between a fucking album. Sometimes 2 albums a year.
Yeah. Sabbath put out the first Sabbath album and Paranoid in 1970. Zeppelin put out 1 and 2 in 69.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think didn't Queen put out 2 records in 1 year? Is Queen one?
No.
Queen 1 72.
No, Queen 1 was 73. Queen 2 was. There was. That was 7. I think both. Sheer Heart Attack and
Queen 2 came out.
And Queen 2 were in 74.
Yeah, I think so too. Hugh, welcome back.
Yeah, but my router just
your dreams were your ticket out.
That was it.
Welcome back to the same old place that we laughed about. Will your dreams have all changed since you come around?
War's first album.
Hello again, Joe.
Hey, Hugh. How you doing?
Good, buddy. Good.
Yeah, War's first album's not going to beat
Weather Report. The Carpenters.
I'm talking about name stuff that you think could have challenge.
Weather
you have Who's Next on the Mountain? Who's going to come and challenge? The Carpenters is going to challenge? Give me a break.
I get all the news I need on the weather.
Every picture tells a story, Rod Stewart, if you like.
That was 1970.
That says May of 71.
No, I'm talking to Hugh. Hugh was singing, I get the news I need from a weather report. The only living boy in New York.
I just felt like singing it.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought you were pulling off 71. I was like, that's 70. All right, go ahead. Sorry, Krell, what did you say?
Oh, I was just saying that every picture tells a story was 71. That's it.
Yeah, that's a great record. No question. Great record. As good as Who's Next? Not close. Not close. There's some great songs on there. Bad Company. Bad Company's first album was 74.
Right?
Yeah, Electric Warrior had a couple of good songs. It wasn't like the album that people blow up to be.
That wasn't 71. That was later on, wasn't it?
No. What year is it?
Electric Warrior.
No, but even Free's best album's not going to compete with Who's Next. I mean, they have? Fire and Water. Wishing Well came later. I think that's on Tons of Sobs.
I love that album to death too.
Jan is saying Deep Purple and Uriah Heep for 71. Deep Purple in 71, I believe, is it In Rock?
Could be right.
Is it In Rock? Because the Fireball was 70. No. Could be Fireball. In Rock could be 70. 72 was the Machine Head record. I don't know any of Uriah Heep's like full length albums. You right. I mean, Fireball. Okay, thanks, Jan.
Maggot Brain.
Love the song
Funkadelic.
Fireball. The rest of the album, I don't want to upset you, Jan, but I just don't love it. But I do love Fireball, the opening cut. Fireball, to me, I would compare that to Bad Company's album Burning Sky. You guys remember the song Burning Sky by Bad Company? The sky
is burning.
Great song. And then you put the rest of the album on and you're like, you know what's burning right now is my anger that I spent $10 on this record. What's burning? The itching. Ooh, love it to death, Joe says.
I love that album. I love that album to death.
Now, Love It to Death is 71. So let me just try to think of what's on that record. Is that 18 on that record? Is 18
I'm 18.
on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
18 with a bullet.
18 is Desperado on that?
No.
What about Under My Wheels?
No.
Then I don't know the record that well. I know the one after it then.
One of my
what am I
favorite-
thinking of?
One of my
Brilliant.
all-time favorite songs is on the Ballad of Dwight Fry.
Oh, yeah. You guys all love that tune. Every time we bring up Alice Cooper, someone brings up that song.
Yeah.
I never heard it till 3 weeks ago on Sirius.
Well, I grew up with that actor and all those movies he was in, you know?
Yeah, LA Woman came out in 71.
Yeah.
Great song on that album that no one talks about that they should is The Changeling. The opening track on LA Woman.
Fantastic.
I live uptown. Banging it. I live
Around.
downtown. Oh, it's great, Hugh, isn't it?
Yeah. Amazing.
That song and Riders on the Storm.
The best song ever.
Yeah, I mean, that's just fantastic shit.
Still pretty sad that they couldn't do any more after that. Eh?
Well, when you die from heroin in a bathtub,
That's it.
well,
No, he's still alive.
he's alive, all right.
Working the chip
Tupelo
shop
Honey,
with
Van
Elvis.
Morrison was that, too.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
feel like
Tupelo
they-
Honey was?
Yeah. Nursery Crime, we just mentioned before.
Yeah.
I've seen Bubba Hotep. I know Elvis is still alive.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, Hugh.
Yeah, I love Bubba Hotep. It's Don Coscarelli directed that. The guy who did Phantasm. I'm big
I'm
Bruce
not, you have
Campbell
to
fan.
understand, Hugh, I'm not a huge Purple fan to begin with. My favorite Purple record is with Ian Gillan is Who Do We Think We Are? Which I know is blasphemous to the real Purple fans. They're like, that's not a good one.
Well,
Yeah.
I
great
saw Purple live in 1996, I think it was. And the only good memory I have from it was watching Steve Moss.
Oh, really? Oh, you saw them when Steve Morris was in the band.
Mm-hmm.
No, I saw him live with Steve Moss in 2002.
Huh. You know,
I
Deep
saw
Purple,
Steve Moss like 100 times before that, though.
I know Jan, and Jan's a big Deep Purple fan, and Uriah Heep, and he loves that stuff. I have to say, Deep Purple to me was one of those bands that was like a secondary band. They weren't top tier for me. They're not like Yes, Zeppelin, or Black Sabbath. They were like the tier
I
below.
could see that.
See,
I
I
can
have
see
them in
that.
top 5 with those guys.
You see, you do. See, I think a lot
Yeah.
of people do, Joe.
Yeah.
And I think, and I'll tell you what, I think the split is around our age. Like people our age either are like, yeah, they're as good as, and then some people are like, not really. I'm a not really guy.
Well,
However,
even when you bring
Rainbow,
Coverdale
I like
into it?
Rainbow
Yeah.
better.
I like Deep Purple more than I like Iron Maiden and Judas Priest and a lot of the Nawabum bands.
Okay, just wait right there, Hugh. You should get a knock on the door pretty soon. They're going to be taking you away.
But Dave, do you like
They're going to
Deep
put a
Purple-
black bag. They're going to put a black bag over your head. Just go with them. And,
Do you like
go
Deep
willingly.
Purple more than UFO, Dave?
yes. I do. I do.
I love that description you had on Chord Therapy about the song starts in one tempo and ended in a completely different. I was like, I got to go listen to that shit now.
Did you hear it?
No, I haven't listened to it yet, but it's I've made the
I think it's called "I Ain't No Baby." Down. Yeah, it's "I Ain't No Baby." You got to hear it. The intro. The second time they play the intro, it's like half speed. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? These guys are all morphined out or something. Listen, Deep Purple, 2 albums with the what we call the monster lineup, the classic lineup.
Yeah.
Who Do We Think We Are in Machine Head are 2 fantastic albums. There's no getting around it. Those are fantastic albums. Guys like Jan, I think, tend to think the earlier ones are like In Rock and Fireball is just as good, and I disagree. And that's fine. That's cool. However, UFO, to me, also only has 2 albums, Lights Out and Obsession, and I like Obsession a lot better than I like Lights Out. My problem with UFO has nothing to do with the band. I think the band is a great band, and it's fun, and I love Michael Schenker. My problem is the guy who sings, and I don't know his name. Can someone tell me, is it Pete Way, or is he the guy that sings? I don't know who the singer is.
No, it's not. Pete Way's the bass player. No, Phil Moog.
Phil Moog. Phil Moog writes these melodies to these songs where I'm like, who told you that's a melody? Sing me, watch. Who you guys know Lights Out in London?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never heard the band before. Joe, sing me that melody to that fucking verse.
All I know is
no, it's like that's a fucking melody. What the hell is he doing? And then the hook always comes in with Lights Out. It's like, oh, thank you. Like, whoever told that guy, don't bore us, get to the chorus, he took it literally, because he is literally, without the chorus to those songs, the guy's melodies in every song, I don't even, like Doctor. Like, it's such a great guitar riff, the groove, everything I love about it, until that guy opens his mouth, and I'm like, who wrote this melody? What the hell are we doing? And I'll tell you, anyone who disagrees, just go try to convince somebody to listen to songs like Lights Out, because there isn't a UFO fan around that's going to say Lights Out's a bad song, and sing the verse to Lights Out to somebody and watch their face. They're going to be like, what? What? You singing a song? Or are you ordering a pizza? It's just... Now, okay, see, Jan, now we're getting into what I like, Jan, which is not the classic lineup, but when you bring in Glenn Hughes and you bring in David Coverdale, now we have Burn and Stormbringer, and I'm on board. Those 2 albums are phenomenal.
Fucking amazing.
In fact, my all-time favorite Deep Purple song, and this might make people crazy, is Hold On the Stormbringer album. Love that song. And I love the singing back and forth between Glenn Hughes and Coverdale. Here's a question for you, and this is what's going to get me in a lot of trouble, folks. What do you guys like better? Deep Purple, Rainbow, or Whitesnake? All derivative from Deep Purple.
Oh, I'm going with Deep Purple.
Really? Hugh? Yeah. Hugh Caldwell?
Possibly Rainbow.
Possibly Rainbow.
Rainbow.
And Rainbow for you. Interesting.
Yeah.
I guess you would have to make it more defined. I think I'd be on board with Whitesnake. I don't think, I'll just say
really
this.
Whitesnake.
It might be it might be Rainbow. Might be the better band of all 3. But Slide It In is the best album from any of those bands.
Oh, Sliding In's great. But I mean, after Sliding In, it started going downhill. But
yeah, but I like Slide It In. They already had 6. I mean, Slide It In's like their 6th album. They had Saints and Sinners, Ready and Willing, Trouble, Come Taste the Band. Had a lot of records. Love Hunter.
Yeah, I like the Dio Rainbow. I like the Jolene Turner Rainbow. So.
I like all those rainbows, but I'm telling you right now, Ready and Willing, Come Taste the Band, Saints and Sinners, and Slide It In. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4 punch to the nuts. Coverdale was on fire on those records. His voice sounds unbelievable. His voice on Fool for Your Lovin' on Ready and Willing. That's got to be that's a hit right to Ian Gillan's groin.
I have to
Right in
hold
the
my
groin.
hand up. I don't know many Whitesnake songs, Dave.
Really?
Really. Passed me by for some reason.
It did.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
What's
what
amazing
passed me
about
by
this-
was the Bernie Marsden stuff, and so my White Snake experience is from Sly Lynn and beyond that. I mean, the stuff with Bernie Marsden.
That was
stuff I
mine
did.
too, until I became friends with Howie Simon. And in the early 2000s, Howie's like, no. You get this album and you get this album and come back to me and tell me what you thought. And I'm like, I'm on board. Let's go.
And what were the two albums?
Ready and Willing. And I think it was Saints and Sinners.
And is that who's on the guitar? Sykes?
Oh, no, this is Sykes. Sykes came in after Slide It In was already recorded. He came in like in 84. Marsden, I believe.
Bernie Marsden. And it was a dual guitar. It was Bernie Marsden and someone else.
Oh, Come Taste the Band is Deep Purple. What was the Whitesnake album? With
Which one?
Oh, good.
it's around Saints and Sinners. I think it's Ready and Willing, Saints and Sinners. There's a band. It's not Come Taste the Band. What the hell? I could see the cover. What the hell was the name of that album?
For Deep Purple?
Whitesnake.
White
What
Snake.
year?
It's got to be 81, 82. 82, I think, is Saints and Sinners.
Saints and Sinners is 82.
What's before it?
Looks like 79 was Love Hunter.
Yeah, that's 79. Yeah, Ready and Willing is 1980.
Let me pull up the whole discography right here. Give me 78. 80 was Ready and Willing. 81 was Come and Get It.
Come and Get It. Okay, that's what I got confused with. Come and Get It. I could see the cover, and I'm like, I see the word come. I'm like, isn't it Come Taste the Band? Come and Get It.
You had Mick Moody and Bernie Marsden on guitars.
Mick Moody.
In fact, I see the word come on it, and I'm like, wait, isn't there a girl reaching her hand in a dryer? Oh, no. That's,
Getting stuck.
Yeah, getting stuck. No,
So
this
speaking
is
of getting
this is a
stuck-
snake snuck in an apple.
What happened last week, Joe?
I just been having.
They
a
said
bad
you pulled the
couple-
muscle. I said you got stuck.
Well, last Saturday night, I had the great idea. If you notice, I'm in a whole different room. So that desk I was using for all my vlogs and for the shows is now here.
hold on. Dan is saying, let's. What, oh wait, you're out in the living room now.
This is my bedroom.
Oh,
Yeah, this is my bed right here.
okay.
I had to
Thought it
move
was
the desk. The desk is gigantic, but first I had to move shit out of this room, clean it up. The dust was like that thick. It was. I pushed myself past what I could do, and then to compound it, I had been out for an entire week from work because I was just fucking depressed. You know, I was just fucking, you know, not mentally prepared to deal with anything. Still sober. Today's day 252. So that's what's going.
Congratulations. And
Finally
thanks for not
getting
leaving
back
the
onto
silicone
the diet.
sex doll on your bed.
Yeah, no, on my bed right here is new gear. I finally got that fuzz. Dave.
Right.
That's a lot of fuzz for $25 too.
Those
Dan of New
Too
Jersey is bringing up the point of the somber stuff with the war going on. The problem is, Dan, is we can look back and say all that great music came out.
Yeah.
All great. I can put out as much great music came out in 1981 as there was in 1971. I can pull out in 1991 almost as much good music as I could from 71 or 81. The last 10 years, I can't pull out shit.
No.
So I don't understand where I'm missing the point about 1971 being somber and the Brits didn't have to deal with it. I'm just talking about music being great at one point, and now it's not. I mean, if you want to take 1981 and go through the whole the who put out Face Stances, and I'm going to say this: Face Stances is better than every album that came out in the last 10 years. Do you remember this album, Joe? It had You Better You Bet, Don't Let Go the Coat, Cash Cash, Another Tricky Day, Daily Records, You. What else was on that record? You remember Daily Records, right? You Can't Always Get It. What was that called? Another Tricky Day? When You Really Want It. I mean,
I
those
have no idea.
I know it. I haven't heard that in years.
great record. In 1981, I can name 30 albums better than Face Dances.
I don't want to get too far away from what Dan in New Jersey said, because it's funny he said that, because when I was listening to the Genesis album, this past week, that part of our listening homework, I was thinking to myself, what the hell was going on? I mean, it's like all the best prog rock, metal, and stuff were all coming out of, the British Isles. It's like we couldn't even compare to that. And I never put that spin on it that Dan said about, about the somber nature of our country during that wartime and stuff. I never thought of that, but he may have a valid point.
Well, he's only saying the point is you're only comparing what comes out of England. I'm talking about out of the world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's what comes out of England then was great. Yeah. But you telling me you can't find an American band that had a good album in 1971?
I mentioned a couple earlier on.
Huh?
I mentioned a couple earlier on, Stylistics.
Yeah, and there's a lot of great stuff.
Well, yeah, not saying there wasn't any good stuff, but I mean,
album.
I mean, you think of like hard, heavy rock and progressive rock. As far as the U.S., not very much. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Let's think.
Aerosmith first album out at that time.
72.
72.
Yeah. Well, I may have said it all, but it said it all in 4 songs disguised in 8 songs. Yeah. I'm not being critical of Marvin Gaye, because I have every Marvin Gaye record. I love Marvin Gaye. I just think that album is overrated because it's 4 great songs. And again, Inner City Blues is probably my favorite track on that record. But there's not 8 songs on that album. There's 4 songs. It's a lot of filler. And what's funny is when I went to England and I was in London, I said, what am I doing here in London? No, I'm walking around and I'm looking at stuff and I'm like, I was at the time living in Los Angeles, so I wouldn't call the place like, it's a beautiful country. It's like, old country, but to me, it's depressing. There's that old stone of the old buildings. And I mean, if you think there's old buildings in New England, go to Old England. It's like you can see where like the Stones and these guys all really were attracted to the blues because they were poor and they were living, pint to pint, if you will.
Well, the families were not poor.
Well, some were.
Only.
I mean, Rod Stewart, he didn't grow up a wealthy guy.
No.
Yeah. I'm saying some of these guys, let's put it this way. Everybody out of Birmingham, all the Sabbath guys were poor as shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were from Birmingham. The Birmingham crew, Sabbath, Priest. Yeah, I mean, it was, so you think see, now that's an interesting perspective. He's saying that he thinks that maybe it's the technology has killed music. What I really, I talk on the show about buying gear, and I never buy gear anymore. Like, I don't care. However, if there was a piece of gear that I was going to buy, it would be a Prophet 16. I love those old synthesizers. To me, you get those sounds of those late 70s, early 80s records where it was like, it's just, there's something about that I dig. But I don't know that technology is killing. I mean, it shouldn't kill music because, God, there's so many great musicians. There's that guy. Do you guys know who Corey Henry is?
No.
He plays jazz piano, like electric piano. Oh my God. This guy's one of the greatest I've ever heard in my life. He plays in Snarky Puppy.
I've heard that band.
What the hell's going on? But the problem is that the music isn't being funded properly because people want to see quick, everything's Vegas. Everyone wants to see a quick return. People, this is what they're going to buy. So you got to go do this instead of like, let's put this out and see where this goes. That used to be the old days. And that's what Zappa talked about. I think Joe brought it up once before on the show.
I was just about to say, show that clip from Zappa.
Yeah. I don't have it queued up, but you're right, though. Zappa said the old guys would sit back, smoke a cigar, and they would say, I don't know anything about music. Let's give this guy a whirl.
Yeah.
And, we got amazing music.
Yeah. And then the young hip guys came, and then that's what the problem still is. People are deciding what's good instead of just saying, here, They used to throw it at the wall. Let's see if it sticks, right? And some shit stuck and it was great, and we all our lives are bettered for it. But now it's like, no, this is what you need. We're gonna have 25 people write one fucking song using the same 4 chords.
Right, and you know what the problem too was? Guys like Clive Davis were guys who were like in the world of all this. Deep Purple's putting out Fireball, and the Who's putting out Who's Next, and Zeppelin's putting out Zeppelin 4. Well, this guy goes out and finds Janis Joplin and releases Pearl, and then he finds all these songs for different artists, and everybody now wants to become him, and the industry has now become everybody's Clive Davis, and now the whole business is suffocated. And now it's like, Mark Lettieri's awesome, Jan. Great player.
Oh, yeah.
Great player. Yeah, I'm not a big DX7 fan, James. In fact, I think that 80s keyboard sound destroyed keyboards. That, to me, is what kind of killed it. When you had in the 70s, when you listen to like, any Genesis, so you listen to Steely Dan and you hear that Fender Rhodes with a phaser. And you listen, what's funny? Let me just bring this up. So I'm watching a video the other night, and this woman gets stuck in the window. Oh, no, sorry, wrong video. So I'm watching a video the other day, and this guy is interviewing the engineer of the album Asia and Gaucho for Steely Dan. I think he was more Gaucho. He engineered. Did you see this video, Hugh?
No.
He engineered Gaucho and mixed it. And so this kid's a recording guy, obviously went to recording school. He works in a studio, and he's asking this guy questions. And he's like, what did you have on what compression did you use? And the guy's just going, yeah, we didn't use it. We don't use that on Steely Dan records. There's going to be compression in the master. And it's just so funny to me. It's like, here's a band, like you listen to Gaucho or a perfect album like Asia.
Mm-hmm.
The piano sounds big. Everything sounds open and nice, and it's mixed gorgeous. And this guy's saying that most of the shit that was put on the compression comes in and mastering. They're not even mixing with it. He was like, what kind of compression did you have on the keyboards? He's like, well, the only effect we had on the keyboards was he had a phaser on the top of on his keyboard. That was it. Other than that, they put a microphone on it. And he's like, well, what mic? He's like, we used a U87 and a 57. I mean, anybody, if you watch this guy's talking about it, you could go do a decent recording out of your own fucking house with a 57, a U87 Neumann, which, that's not a cheap mic, but you can get clones of it for a decent price. Mm-hmm. And very little outboard gear. And they were able to put out that record. And the guy even said, he's like, when you got great players, just let them do their thing. He's like, the bass was recorded direct because Walter Becker didn't like the sound of amplifiers. So the bass players would come in and play direct. And what was the other thing was, he's like, and all the other players were great. The only thing he said was maybe there was a little bit of compression or limiting on the guitars when they came in, when they mic'd them. But that would be it. The only thing was the guitars. Everything else wasn't touched. And it's just great because,
Does that mean they were better engineers then?
What's that?
Does that mean they were better engineers or producers?
Well,
then?
I think they were. It's a great question. Are they better engineers, or are they relying on technology? As I forget who said it. Might have been I don't know who said it in the chat. I'm sorry about that. I have to scroll up. Who said it in the chat that old and busted? Because is it that, or are they relying too much? I mean, because today it's like, you listen to a mix. Like, let's say you're mixing. Are you guys do your own music at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you're listening to a mix, and it's like, all right, well, the guitar's going to sound a little nicer if you put compression on it, right?
Mhm.
But when you go to make a real record, somebody's got to master it to tie all the songs together and make the thing sound. So now you're putting compression on it again. And so, as you know what I'm saying? So they didn't do that. They knew ahead of time. He was even saying, like, Fagan, he was like, oh no, Fagan, Becker, and he kept referring to the three of them. Gary, because Gary Katz was the producer. Gary, Donald, and Walter would always be like, yeah, no, don't put anything on this. Don't do this. And they were very strict about what they wanted and knew ahead of time. And then the guy was asking questions. The guy is like just sitting there, and he's like, yeah, that wasn't invented yet. But it's fun.
Oh, you wish we had that.
Yeah. So, but it's just interesting to listen to a guy who engineered Gaucho in Asia. Oh, did you listen to this, Jan? I was, guy seemed like a nice guy. The kid, towards the end, he started getting a little bit more like he was very much, up his ass. But in the beginning, I thought he was kind of like pompous, just burning through questions, going, all right, next question. And I was like, well, you're kind of being rude to this guy. He's giving you his time. It's like, just hear him out. I'd just love to hear the guy talk about what they, like amplifiers and where they put the mic placement. And that's more, what I would say. And anyone that's doing home recordings, I'm also going to say this, you could do some really great home recordings, or even if you're going into a studio, trust your ears more than your eyes. Because a lot of people are going to sit there and say, oh, that's that amplifier. Go and listen. You put that when you listen, if you have whatever microphone you have accessibility to, if you put that microphone in front of an amp and that thing isn't sounding the way you want it to sound, change the amp. Figure it out, because you never know. Use your ears and trust your ears. That's all I can say. When I did a record, we did this with Vinny Colaiuta. We had a guy come and set up his kit. So now I go into the booth and I'm in the control room and Vinny's playing. And I looked at my engineer and I said, why does the snare sound like that? And he goes, Vinny changed the snare. I said, what? I go, it sounds terrible. And so now I'm not going to say what snare it was, because Vinny was trying it out. Somebody had given him a snare to try out. And so I went into the room where he was playing to make sure if it sounded good in person, if it sounded like amazing in person, we had unlimited mics. I would have said, change the mic. But I went in the room and it sounded exactly like it sounded in the control room. Not happening for me. So I said to him, you got to change that snare. He just starts laughing and goes, you don't like it? I go, no. And he was like, no problem. He brings like 30 snares to a session anyways. And he put another snare on. He was like, well, hang in here. And he tried out a couple of snares and said, pick which one you like. And I picked the one I like. And then I went back in the room, and the mics that we had on that kit, it sounded fantastic when we went in the thing. But trust your ears, and don't trust the gear so much. And I watch a lot of these channels on YouTube where people talk about guitars, and they talk about, Joe sits and plays a Squier Strat. There's nothing he can do on his Squier Strat that you can do on it. You can buy a custom shop $6,000 Strat. You can't do anything more than he can do on that thing. There's no way you're listening to a record and saying, oh, that's a real expensive Strat. Oh no, that's a Squier. I was watching a channel where a guy was talking about Abraham Laboriel. You guys know who he is?
Yeah, bass player. Yeah.
His son plays with Paul McCartney.
Oh, okay.
On drums, but he's the bass player. He used to play a real cheap bass that people used to say sounded like crap, but sounded amazing in a mix. And that's why they loved hiring him, because they would never have to EQ him. They could just take his signal, and that was what would go on the record. But he used the cheapest piece of shit. And if you heard that bass, you'd be sitting there going, I don't want that thing anywhere near my record. You know what I mean? So it's like all this talk about gear. My whole thing is fucking, if you can play like Laboriel, you can play the fucking toilet. Hey, what's this guy got on strings? I believe that's a Bemis. Oh, okay, excellent. Let's put some strings on that Bemis.
Did you ever see the video of Joe Satriani? He was visiting someone's house, and he picked up the kid's guitar, and it was one of those guitars that was basically like that comes with the amp and stuff.
Right. First act.
One of those. And he goes through. He plays one of his own songs, and you would think that he's playing one of his setup, Ibanez's, and the only thing he says, he goes, well, there's a lot harder to play than mine. It's a lot harder on the fingers. Well, yeah, because yours is all fucking sweetened up for you. But there was no difference in sound.
Yeah. No, you no way you can tell.
That's why when I was watching a review of someone the other day, goes, but I know they talk about these tone woods, but you could hear how much brighter it is with the maple neck. And I'm like, come on, man. You've got so much fucking distortion poured on that thing.
Yeah.
And the sound is getting picked up where there's no neck.
Well, how about the fact that it's not even getting picked up? It's actually being reproduced electronically, so It's impossible. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing's nuts. But that's a whole other... I mean, that's like people that are just insane. I mean, when I tell people what pickups I use, I love the way those pickups respond when I play them. Do I think that you can hear the difference? I don't think so. I don't know. But I've never been able to hear two Strats and go, oh, it's like they all sound like Strats to me. And when it's EQ'd and mixed and everything's put to rest, someone's using cheap pickups, someone's using expensive pickups. It's all if the play is good, it sounds good. If the player sucks, those expensive pickups are going to sound like shite.
I saw a video where a guy who was using the room mic, so you were getting the actual sound that he was hearing, right?
Yeah.
And he compared a Squier Classic Vibe Telecaster with a Custom Shop 52, and you could not tell a difference.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
Everything was the same.
Yeah.
I find the comparison is that between the Squiers and the higher end Fenders is that I noticed that they can sound different, but it's neither one way or the other. I mean, like you could have a custom shop versus a Squier, and
but that's
personal
taste. You may go custom shops can sound different. I mean,
exactly.
But the point is if you like the way it plays and you like the way it feels, that's who you're buying the instrument for. There was Mike Rutherford from Genesis. Here we go full circle. The last tour was playing Squiers.
Playing a Squier Bullet. Aye.
Yeah. Because he
was it the Japanese ones?
No. In COVID,
China.
the cheapest of the cheap. During COVID, he was stranded somewhere, and so he sent somebody out to pick him up a guitar. The only guitar shop around was selling Squier Bullets, which is like a $99 guitar. Yeah. They brought it back to him. He was like, cleaned it up a little bit, cleaned up the frets, and he's been playing it ever since. Says that's his favorite guitar.
It was in Cape Town, Dave.
Yeah, in Cape Town, yeah. Hey, thanks, Ed Dana. Appreciate that. So what I'm doing, Ed, to do that, besides the fact that I'm playing through a Cool Tube preamp on the Takamine, is I go through a long reverb, and then I plug that into the board, and the board has a short reverb on it. So I'm playing through two reverbs to make it sound somewhat layered.
Friend of mine came in last night when I was watching the replay of your gig.
Yeah,
and he complimented your Takamine guitar.
Oh, he did.
Said it sounded beautiful. Aye.
Oh, nice. Oh, well, that's cool. It's good that it sounds good over the thing. To me, it always sounds a little tinny, but there it's more full when you're there. But the way the mic picks it up, it's yeah. I don't know if you guys see at the end of the gig, this girl comes up and she asks, well, first of all, she's dancing around and she takes off her jacket and she's wearing like a tight tank top. So she comes up and she's like, will you do Brown Eyed Girl? I'm like, you're going to have to take a lot more off than your jacket to get me to play that song.
You prick.
You see it on the video and you see her like get mortified and she walks away. And I said to Jim, we're going to have to play it now because I think I just terrorized that girl.
Oh my goodness.
Hashtag me too.
Yeah. Hey, Terry Himes. Yeah. He says yeah. I mean, look, when it comes to playing, oh, you saw that? Hannah Bomb, that's hilarious. Yeah. Oh, yeah, she wasn't.
I got to go back and watch that.
Oh, yeah. But, but like I was saying, though, whatever you're going to play whatever play what makes you happy and play. It's so funny because when I have YouTube on my Apple TV and I still see videos where people are like talking about fucking gear. This pedal came out. This is what this pedal sounds like. That pedal ain't going to sound like that when this guy over here plays it because this guy can't play and that pedal's just going to sound like dirt. It's like just, if you sound great, you're going to play any pedal's going to sound good. If you sound bad, anything you do is going to sound bad. Just play. Whatever it takes you to play. That would be the thing. Yeah.
A lot of money to get videos.
Yeah, someone says, hey, this pedal makes playing fun. I'd be like, all right, guys, everyone buy that. Because that's what's going to make you play.
The pussy melter.
Yeah, this one's going to make you sound like David Gilmour. Yeah, that and about $400 worth of lessons a week. You know what I mean? Because, yeah, hey, how can I sound like Gilmour? Well, let me give you some advice. It's going to cost you a little bit of money, but you're going to start taking lessons. You might,
some LSD.
John Taylor, that's funny. Oh, and you saw that too? Yeah, it was funny. Like I said, and she's friends with Chrissy, and Chrissy's the owner's girlfriend. So I was like, afterwards, I felt bad. I was like, well, I don't want her to go to because Chrissy was just because you couldn't see off camera when I said who likes Brown Eyed Girl. Chrissy was going thumbs down. I'm like, all right, guys, that's it. We're not doing it. Thank God.
Well, Dave, this has been making me happy the last week.
All right, now let's take a look at this. We got a Floyd Rose. Looks like an ESP almost. What is that?
That's what I was going to say. Looks like an ESP. Ibanez.
Now,
is that
what is it? What's the
neck?
What's the model?
It's an RGA 2550, I think, something like that.
Okay. Is it it's got a battery in the back, so it's got active pickups.
Active pickups. It's got a tone switch here that changes the EQ.
Hey, Gary Hubbs, welcome. And hey, Snowball, what's happening?
This was out of action for about
Fez. What's up?
I used to gig with this.
What is it?
It's been out of action for about 10 years, and I've brought it back, and it's working again.
And it looks like, what do? They taped off the end to get the maple to give you the binding. Let me see that binding. It looks like they just taped off to give you the clear maple. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
it's nice.
It's like kind of flame maple kind of back binding.
Yeah.
I like as well how the rosewood and the black goes. I don't know if you'll see it where the fingerboard is.
Yeah. It almost looks like the what's the Kirk Hammett model called?
Oh, I don't know.
KH 550?
Something, yeah. KH 400, maybe. I used to have the ESP.
Oh, you're right. Maybe it's 400. Yeah, but doesn't it look like that ESP? Where's that made, Hugh? Is that a Korean made?
It's not a Japanese. It's a premium.
I know, but I want to see if it's Korea, because if it's Korea, I'm gonna go on a limb and say that's made at that same factory.
I need better light again.
I don't know, something up with that light when you put it on. Do you guys hear the high pitch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Aye, that's why I keep it off. It's been interfering.
Stop now.
It
Stop.
comes
Whatever
so
you.
bright, Hugh almost disappears, like the
Okay.
Invisible Man.
Indonesia.
Oh, okay.
All right.
It's
made
So
Indonesia.
it's newer. What year is that?
Well, I've had it since 2011.
Really? And it was made in Indonesia then?
Sorry. No, 2011. 2004, even.
There's
it's
no
an
way.
RTA.
I don't think so.
Wow. 2004, most stuff was made in Korea.
I'm
Let me see
thinking
the-
maybe
let me see the-
2014, right?
Right, I'll tell you the serial number. It's
I don't want the
One-
serial number. I just want the where's it made?
Indonesia. Is it?
So I'm going to guess it's in
Is
the
it start with a
2010s.
K?
It's Indonesia. It's
O? R?
I1104304996. It's the model is a RGA. It's a 72 TQ.
Well, I'm going to guess
So,
it's 2011.
Let me ask you
like
this
said.
question. So it's made in Korea?
No, Indonesia.
How the hell in 2000? What year did you say you got it in?
2011.
I think that's the year it was made. The serial number, it says Indonesia, and 11.
Oh,
So
okay.
I
He
think the
said
first two were the-
2004 after that, I thought.
Yeah, 2004, Indonesia wasn't really making.
No,
No,
they
no,
weren't doing it.
No,
Well, not
it was-
before.
Here you go.
it's 10 years old. Put it that way.
You got a thing of it, a picture of it? Or are you putting it in the
No,
chat?
this is just an entire page of guitar models manufactured in Indonesia for Ibanez. What's the model number?
RGA
RGA 72 QT.
72 quill top. Yeah, 72 quill top.
RG.
QT is cute quill top.
Aye. And a Z at the end.
Is it
QT
Z
or
at the
QM?
end?
RG.
A Z at the end, aye.
It was introduced in 2011 for the U.S.
Yeah.
market.
I don't
It is
even-
non-prestige RGA model made in Indonesia. So
Yeah, but he's not the US market. He's in Scotland.
yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't say premium
I don't
on the
even see an
headstock.
RGA
because
listed
it's
here.
before premium, I think.
RG2, RG3.
I
RG
think all that
Reynolds.
premium stuff when they came out with premium, I think that was 2013.
Uh-huh,
So I remember I was
aye.
looking at guitars back then.
Yeah.
There we go. I'm finally at the RGAs. What was after the RGA?
RGB.
72 QT.
QT. I find QM.
Yeah, I got QM as well. It's the RGA 72QM is 2011, 2012.
No, it's not that.
There's QME, QM. Where's Q? I don't
could
there's
have a
nothing
prototype.
QT.
Well,
Your eyes are
prototype.
fucked up.
No, but QM is
you
quilted
could have a
maple,
prototype.
and they could have had it called a quilt top when they first did it to the
I
before they
said.
released it for
I
US
don't
market,
know.
for the Scottish market, because they don't say yes over there, they say I.
Maybe it's TQ, RGA 72 TQM. Or maybe they
He
put
said
this
I thought he
wrong.
said the
Let me
last letter
see.
was a Z.
I don't know.
TQMZ.
Oh, TQMZ.
Okay, let's go back. Here we go. I got it. Fucking the page moved. Here we go.
Oh, T is the color.
72 TQMZ is an RGA series solid body electric
2011.
guitar model introduced by Ibanez in 2011. It's similar to the 2010, but it has the new Edge 2 tremolo, a revised body with deeper scoop cuts on the cutaway horns, and new fretboard inlays. Other features include a mahogany body with quilted maple top, Ibanez LOZ active humbucking pickups, a locking nut, and a set in titanium reinforced the Wizard 3 neck. A special feature is the active EQ switch, which activates a mid cut. That's your little switch you were playing with there. Similar models are the hardtail with EMG pickup. So you got the one without the EMGs.
Yeah. It's all right. They got the Ibanez Low Z.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you care
Here
if
we go.
Rob Turner's
Body
winding
material,
them
mahogany
or
with quilted
Ibanez?
maple top and binding. It's a nice guitar. 24 jumbo frets.
What's the sticker on it?
The what?
What do you mean?
How much did it cost you?
Oh, they don't say what that was.
I think it was just under 1,000, I think.
Wow.
I have an Ibanez. I'll get in a little bit. That I bought for 150. And Dave, you remember I sold the pickups to that guy? The 2 pickups for $40.
I do.
It was out of there, and I ended up putting pickups in that. Let me go grab that. That's one I haven't shown yet.
No, it'd be really funny. It would be really funny if Abigail Ibarra designed the LOZ pickups on it.
Yeah, I mean, it's, who knows? Like, I don't know. I'm not a big EMG pickups fan, mainly because, if I was playing clean, a lot of clean and glassy sounding shit, I think it would be nicer. But even then, I just don't see the whole need for it. And what I don't understand is, well, like the metal guys all use them.
Because if one guy does it, everyone's got to do it.
Yeah, it's...
Well, they still work without a battery, so...
What is it?
They're passive too. You don't need a battery for it to work.
Oh, your pickups don't. Oh, so the battery is for the preamp.
Correct.
Gotcha. And that's what it's a mid boost or a mid cut?
It's just an EQ change.
Oh, okay. Because that's similar to what Clapton has in his Strat, right? He has the mid boost.
It kind of just goes more humbuckery. If you were using a single coil, say, to a humbucker, kind of that kind of boost.
Yeah.
But my favorite guitar, although I like shredding on that now and again. Could you guess what model of guitar is my favorite guitar?
If I had a guess?
Yeah.
Of your guitars?
Of my 41 guitars.
The Warren DiMartini.
No, it's the one I play the most.
The Glary Hagman.
Correct.
Is it the Glary?
No, can't be.
The Glary Fine?
The Glary Fine.
It's one I've never had on camera.
Oh, well, go get it.
How the hell would we know what it is then, Hugh?
Does it even exist?
Hugh, that's like saying I'm thinking of a number 1 through 1,000. Start guessing.
That's nice.
Yeah, I like the bridge. Let me see the bridge of that. You know what I don't like on that guitar, though, I have to say, and I hate to tell you that, but I just don't like those inlays.
Oh, those are classic shark fin.
Yeah,
whatever,
a little
jagged
Paul
shark
Stanley-ish for me.
Yeah. Well, most of the Ibanez I have that one on my
very 80s.
Side. But I tell you, $150, you can't go wrong.
No, can't at all.
It's like it came with the little road wear. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah,
it's kind of scuffed up on the end, but who cares?
We also can see the color chart you have on your screen.
Oh yeah, for the Diodario strings.
Oh no, is that what it was for? It looked like it was for I don't know if it was for guitars or what.
Yeah,
I can't see
different
anymore.
colored balls.
Now we're looking at a light bulb.
I see what. Oh,
there
that right there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my soundboard. That's the sound effect.
Gotcha.
But you only got one sound effect, the cricket.
Yeah.
Well, I also have the.
What, Hugh? Do you have the guitar?
I've got an American version as well, but this is my classic vibe version.
That's your favorite guitar?
Correct.
A Jaguar? A Jazzmaster.
Jazzmaster. But
Jazzmaster.
This or Jaguar, not Jaguar. We say it properly.
By Jaguar.
You snobby people.
So, you pompous. No, so that's a 25.5-inch scale, the same as a Strat scale.
And the Jag is 24.
That's right. And so let's discuss this guitars. Was this because of Johnny Marr? Or was this because or Elvis Costello?
Oops.
I would say both of them were influential when I was like 13, yeah.
How come you never see anybody ever like shred on a Jazzmaster? There's nobody ever mastering jazz on a Jazzmaster, are they?
No, not enough tension on the strings.
You think it's the tension? Well, the fact that neck is always like the original ones have that round neck. Could you imagine, like, ladies and gentlemen, George Benson, and he comes out with a jazz master? I mean, half the people would get up and leave. They're like, that doesn't. You can't smoke a cigarette and play blues on the jazz blues on the stage with that guitar. That's a surf guitar. Looks like
Well, at home, that's all the kind of music I love to play. I love to play a lot of clean stuff. When I gig, I take a Les Paul or a Strat or a Super Strat or a Telly. But they stay at home and.
But that's your favorite, that guitar?
I love perfect neck for me. Beautiful necks.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Joe, how come you don't have a jazz master?
That I don't really like.
Say no more. The face says it all. I'll tell you this. What I thought was really cool was when Soundgarden was in their heyday and they were playing stuff on TV, like when they went on like shows and whatnot. And you used to see Chris Cornell playing metal on that telly. I always thought that was the shit. I'm like, this guy's saying, fuck you. You want to play surf music on this thing? I'm going to show you how you can play metal. So I think it might be a cool thing to see a metal guy. I'd love to see somebody play a jazz master, but like one that they've made with like a 12-inch or a 14-inch radius to jumbo frets. Make the thing playable because and the bridges on those things. That Jazz Master, what do they call that bridge? The Jazz Master bridge? That thing is like, it's hokey.
That guy, Troy Grady, I think, did that with, that shredder guy. He made a Jazz Master.
As a trem, right, it's the best non-locking tremolo ever invented if you set it up properly.
What if you don't set it up properly?
You're fucked.
I'll tell you right now, the Strat tremolo, the original Strat tremolo, will always stay in tune as long as you don't use it.
Even that's questionable too. Sometimes,
right? You 50% of the time it works every time.
Well, I can get a Strat tremolo to stay in tune pretty close, and you can drop the bar and stuff. First of all, find a way to get rid of the string trees. First of all, you use the staggered tuners, and then just make sure your nuts lubed. No comments, please. And I tell you, it'll stay in tune.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yep. Ain't no mystery.
Yeah, I mean, like
use a 2-point. Use a 2-point system. The 6-screw will go out of tune more because
I have a Bigsby on my on one of my tellies, and I'll tell you, like, I love the Bigsby tremolo, but I love when people complain about it and they're like, "Well, they go out if you dive bombing on a fucking Bigsby."
Yeah, that's the mistake right there. First of all, that range isn't.
No, it's like the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. That's like saying,
crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why my guitar doesn't work. It sounds terrible in the bathtub underwater. It's like, yeah, okay.
Well, you can't do it with the Bigsby. There's not enough range to actually drop it down. And Bigsby's meant for wobbling and stuff.
Right.
Like that,
it's meant for tremolo, for subtle tremolo. Hey, Brad, what's happening?
Yeah. That's what you want out of a Bigsby. The Bigsby's made for that beautiful one.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
You don't Eddie Van Halen with a Bigsby.
No.
Eddie Van Scotty Moore.
Yeah, it's very subtle. It's a beautiful, I mean, when you get like a little tremolo going and reverb, and then you play that Bigsby. Yeah, look at Hugh has one back there. Hugh, grab that guitar. Let's get that one up and close.
That's a Gretsch, right? That's a beautiful.
That's what I said.
Is that a White Falcon?
Behind me, Dave. I can't go back there at the moment.
It's not a Gretsch. It's a.
It's an Ibanez.
It's the George Benson.
Why can't you get it? It's 5 feet away. You're going to walk 100 miles. Do the first 5 right here.
That's a whole.
Do the first 5 steps.
Do the first 5 feet right here. Shit.
No, I don't want to go over.
What is there?
I do have a B bender, Hannah Bomb. Yeah, I have a B bender. I have a Bigsby. I have a B bender telly, a Bigsby telly. I have the G and L, 2 G and Ls. I love tellies. To me, it's they're fun guitars. Tellies. Yeah, great. I love Strats.
I've tried all my life to love Strats. I've
Really?
probably owned about 20 and sold 19, and I've got one left.
I think if you played this Strat, Hugh, you'd be like, how do I get this?
I know.
I mean, it's just...
Well, maybe that's what I should do. I should do the old Warmouth stuff. Build my own.
Nice. It just plays great. Krelbach played this guitar.
Yep.
I'll tell you.
Right. It plays
Got it.
acoustics too. It had nice feeling acoustics. It had that
Yeah,
big
I mean-
wide neck. It feels like you're playing a classical guitar.
Yeah. He's like the Jeffrey Tubin of Dave's Guitar Channel. Who's... Hugh.
Who's that?
Hey, what's happening, Satriani?
Speaking of Brad, we gotta get him on one of these days too.
Yeah, Brad, when you want to come on, you want to be like, I need a guest for this month. Let me know when you want to come on.
Yeah, we need a guest, and you're like our last choice.
Yeah, right. No, we'll get him
We
on.
couldn't
We'll
find
get
anyone
Satriani on. Well, Satriani, we got to get him on too.
You got to get Satriani in here.
Do you work on my own guitars? I do minimal stuff, like, but for the most part, I have a guy right up the street who's very reasonably priced, and I like nothing more to drop stuff off. But I mean, if there's something minor, to be done, I have too risky. You got a smart lawyer.
Do we cheat him and how?
I've been playing my black Strat. Now I have two black Strats. One that's an original Strat 2009, and then the one that I built. The one that I built is fantastic. It's in my room, and I play it nightly. I play it weekly. Very weekly. But yeah, I mean, it plays great. It plays great. And I have no interest in buying another guitar. Like I said, if there was anything, a piece of gear I would buy besides amplifiers, it would be the Prophet 16 and some form of Rhodes. I love the Rhodes.
I like buying guitars and tearing them apart. You buy cheaper guitars, and I like modding them and stuff. It's a fun project. That
but your room
that
gets
Strat
too
back
filled
there.
with garbage, and then it's like once you have enough, like I want to sell this guitar. I don't know if you can see that. That's a Strat with the
give you
Charlie
400.
Christian pickups.
Yeah, that guitar back there is a Squire Vintage Modified, and what I did is I put the what do you call those bridge things now? You've got them on your Strat, Dave. The
Graphtex?
Graphtex.
The
Yeah,
saddles.
I can't believe I didn't. And I put the HS3 single coil stack.
Oh
in
yeah,
there.
that's a fun sounding pickup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only one guitar I've always wanted but never owned is a double bound Tele Custom.
The double bound? Oh, so like what's that? A 62?
62, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What are you, an Albert Collins fan?
Not so much, no. Just always thought they looked really cool.
He played that guitar though. That was what he played, a natural double bound with a PAF in the neck.
Aye.
You know who owns that guitar?
Who owns it now?
What's that bad karate actor? Steven Seagal?
Steven
Steven
Seagal?
Yeah, he's got like this massive guitar collection.
Really?
Right. Yeah, he plays blues.
I was told that guitar doesn't operate properly unless you've got Soul Glow in your hair, like Albert Collins.
Leave Albert Collins alone.
The Iceman cometh and goeth. He was great.
Yeah.
He was great in Adventures in Babysitting.
Adventures in Babysitting.
Great, I know.
That was Elizabeth Shue at the height of her cuteness.
Never seen without a capo.
Vincent D'Onofrio's in that too.
Yeah, he always
The
played
body
with the
shop
capo.
guy.
Yeah, he played Thor.
Yep.
The
They
mechanic.
didn't come up with a custom. The Tele Custom 72 is a different Tele Custom. That's called the one with the Strat headstock. Oh no, was that the Deluxe?
Right.
One of them's the Deluxe. That was 72. They came out with the Deluxe and the Custom in 72. One is the Strat headstock. I forget which one's which. But there's a Custom from 60. They called the double bound in 62 was also called a Telecaster Custom. In fact, I'll show it to you. Let me pull up that link. 62. Telecaster Custom. Here's one on Reverb. I'll post the link. So this is the one. It's a double bound. Dave, listen to my LP. What a guitar, and I'm a Strat guy. Oh yeah, I have to. You know what? My day today was nuts. The Deluxe is the Strat headstock, and the Custom. So the Custom is the one that is all over Exile on Main Street, right? The black one that has the single coil in the bridge and the humbucker in the neck. Right?
$3,600, but he took it apart. It's used.
Yeah, well, I think it's a reissue, right? But it's a reissue of the 62 Custom. Yeah. Well, yeah, he replaced his pickup, Brad, with the humbucker in the neck. He put a PAF, but his was a 62 Custom that originally came with single coils, and then he put the humbucker in there. And then he always had I think did he tune open tuning?
Yep.
He did, right? He open tuning.
Open G.
Open G, right.
And
then he
capo
five
all the way
strings.
up.
Five strings in one asshole, like he used to put it.
That's correct.
And then he would capo it on the 5? Or was it higher up on the 7?
It was higher up. He moved it around. He would put it to the 7 and sometimes a little higher.
Sometimes Albert Collins borrowed it.
Sometimes.
Well, Albert Collins used to
Bad joke.
used to capo it on the 8th fret, I think, because when
That's
he played
right,
an
high
open
up.
chord, it was always in C minor, I think.
How much soul glow did he have in his hair? In that movie, Adventures of Babysitting, that hair looks like it's dripping.
Now, was that before Coming to America?
It was after.
Could have got the idea. After, he must have got the idea
Yeah, I
from
don't think he needed the idea from Coming to America. Coming to America probably got it from what was going on in the 80s with that soul glow stuff.
Who else wore Soul Glow? Rockwell didn't he?
Nobody wore soul glow as nice as Eric LaSalle, though. Oh, yeah. In Coming to America, he looks great in it. Yeah. I have a ceramic single coil wrapped in foil. Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny because people always talk about pickups and sound and stuff, and to me it's like everything sounds the same. It just matters how when I play it, does it respond to me? Like I can't hear the difference between. You could sit there and say, "Oh, this guy's playing this pickup. Oh, really? He sounds great. This guy's whatever." But when you play it,
there is such thing as a bad pickup, but that's just more of a manufacturing thing. It's like, yeah, you'll.
Oh, Buddy Guy had the glow
it's
too.
Noisy and tinny and.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about generally. I'm not talking about something with a problem, a bad pickup. I'm talking about in general. You get 10 guys with Les Pauls, and one guy's always going to go, yeah, but this one's got the magic pickup. Oh, really? It makes you play good when you put it on that? You know, give me a break. How come everybody that's like a player that's known for having great tone sounds great on no matter what the fuck they play? Billy Gibbons can play anything. You know what I mean?
And he does.
Yeah, Billy Gibbons can pick up a bazooka.
I mean, he's a I know gear whore or endorsement whore. He used to play the crates. He used to play the.
Well, that's
Yeah.
That's
Joe
how
Walsh.
you play versus what you play. It's how you play.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Walsh switches guitar more than he changes underwear.
Yeah, Joe Walsh, you know, he talks about double coil pickups. I'm watching an old video with him
Double
playing
coil
Hotel California. He's playing a telly. And I'm like, Joe, where are those double coil vintage style pickups? I said, Paul, it's perfect.
You've got to put that voice together side by side with Bill Cosby and Jello instant pudding and double coil vintage pickups. It's the same timbre.
How many companies has Johnny Highland been with?
Oh, jeez.
Say it again.
Johnny Highland,
Yeah, he was with Paul Reed Smith. He was with.
Music Man.
Did he have Fender too?
Music Man.
Yeah, Fender. Then he was. Then it was.
That means with
Music
Kiesel,
Man, then
isn't
it was
he?
Paul Reed Smith.
PRS, aye.
I
Now-
thought he
now
was
it's
with Kiesel
Kiesel.
for a
Now
while.
it's
Yeah,
Kiesel.
Kiesel. Yeah. Yeah. He's doing the rounds.
And he really sells it every time he gets it. Oh, this is the best guitar I've played.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you could go to every one of those. You know, that's what you should do. You make a video compilation of Johnny Highland playing 4 different guitars that he endorsed. And then you say, blindfold, you know, like you don't show it. Which one is he playing?
What is
They
he
all
playing?
sound the fucking same. It all sounds like him. And then you're sitting there going, wait, is this guy an asshole? And it's like, no, I'm the asshole because I'm listening to him. When you can't find the asshole in the room, find the mirror.
Great player though. That's,
Oh,
He's a great player. There's a lot of great players. You don't see, you know who you don't see whoring gear so much, who I love in country, is a guy named
Steve
Stephen Warner. It's the best. Really is.
that's because not the. I know who Steve Warner is. You do, but I mean, a lot of times in the guitar community, people say Stephen who.
He told. Oh, I
lot of
guess
people
Brad
don't know
talked to him. He
who
said
it
he
is.
told Brad he wanted PRS and Music Man to make his signatures affordable, and neither one of them would do it. Yeah, I went to a company like PRS that basically makes overpriced high-end guitars, and I said, "Can you guys bring down the price?"
Send it to Korea.
No, but it's like that's like saying Gibson came to me and they wanted to make me a Les Paul, and I said, "Yeah, that's good, but can we make it affordable?" Yeah, we're Gibson. Fuck off. What are you coming to us for? You want to get affordable guitar? Go over there and
I want a signature Rolls Royce, but could you put it in a price range of like a Kia Optima?
what is it? French? It's a Peugeot 4K. Yeah, that's. I mean,
Yeah.
isn't that eventually what's his name had a problem with? Zach Wilde.
with Gibson.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, his problem was nobody could afford his guitar.
And, we get older and wiser, realize that, it's law of diminishing returns. I mean, once you get above $1,500, $1,800, maybe it's even before that. I mean, the quality doesn't get that much better.
Yeah,
So if you're buying a $10,000 guitar, there was a lot of care put into it, but as far as comparing to a $1,500 guitar, it's not that much. Not that much money. Monetarily.
World Manufacturing years ago made a lot of other companies' guitars too. They made the Schecters, the higher end Schecters, the ESPs, I believe. World Manufacturing's great, but yeah, that's who's making the PRSs. And it's like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I think World Manufacturing is the one that made my BC Rich and
Old and
Geraldo.
Busted asked a question. He said, "If you could have a guitar built from scratch and if you haven't already, How and what would it be made of, acoustic or electric? I think for me, I already have the electrics I want, so I would have an acoustic build.
Yeah, I would think I'd like one of each. I'd like to have an acoustic build and an electric.
See, I have every electric like fits what I want, like that does everything I want. So the acoustic to me would be like, I love that wide neck that I have on that Takamine, but I don't want a slotted headstock, and I want the neck more V cut.
Right.
And I love that tube. I love that cool tube preamp. That's a great preamp. And
I'd just like Dana Bourgeois to build me a guitar.
Yeah, he makes great guitars. He's I think he's in Maine, right? He's in Maine, the United States.
Is that where it is?
Yeah, I've played a few of his guitars. They're beautiful. I've met him a few times at the NAMM show.
When I worked at the guitar shop, I was in the repair section.
Yeah, the Black Ovation's mine, Cheech. That was given to me from Ovation when I used to do clinics and stuff for them. It's a USA made Ovation too. Say it again. Sorry, go ahead, Hugh.
Oh, I just there was a couple of Bourgeois guitars came into our guitar shop.
Yeah,
and I got to have my hands on them for 5 minutes, and it was like, wow.
Yeah, well, he's one of like, as far as making the classic bluegrass instruments, I think he makes Dan Tyminski's. Dan Tyminski was a bourgeois player.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, beautiful. Whether you're gonna you could be in the Callings, the Santa Cruz, the Dana Bourgeois. To me, those are like the guys who make the bluegrass stuff. You can find pricier instruments. You can go to Olson, you can go to Kevin Ryan, stuff like that. But I'm not really big into that stuff. I like the bluegrassy instruments, the straight ahead, the Dana Bourgeois. Santa Cruz, to me, out of the three, make the best in my favorite.
Santa Cruz use redwood a lot. You know, like the big giant trees.
Yeah, and Brad mentions Callings too.
Yeah, Callings is great. Santa Cruz. I think Santa Cruz is a little nicer than Callings, in my opinion. I like the necks are a little wider, especially on the pre-war stuff. The USA Guilds, when they were made, who was making them? First it was Fender. They brought it out to the Ovation place there. Now they're made in they're made like an Oxnard. They were owned by Cordoba Guitars. And they're made all right.
With the rich Corinthian leather.
Yeah, I mean, that's the sad thing about any of these builders like Dana Bourgeois. It's like, you know, you got to pay a premium price because these guys aren't making a lot of instruments. And, you know, I mean, Callings makes a lot of instruments. Callings are gorgeous guitars. I wish the necks were fatter on Callings like they are on the Santa Cruzes. The Santa Cruzes, they're more beefy. The best acoustic for me that I've ever played was a Santa Cruz pre-war, OM style. Just absolutely. And when you played it, sounded like a cannon. Just gorgeous. Yeah, the problem with the vintage Martin stuff is it's a Martin. I don't know. I like them. It's like there's more care taken into like the Callings. I mean, to me, if you said to me vintage Martin or Callings, I would say Callings. I just think there's just like, you know, CF Martin's been dead and the company's building the legacy, and Callings was alive for a while, making sure every one of those things went out right. Now he's dead. D55s are nice. D45s. Oh, D55, the Guilds, yeah. In fact, I used to like the old Guilds that were made in Westerly, Rhode Island. The Westerly, Rhode Island plant ones were good.
Yeah, I have a friend that has one of those. I forget what model it is.
The D35, I believe, is what Ricky Lee Jones did her first debut album on. And the D40 is a great guitar.
The 45 is that the one with loads of bling on it?
The Martin D45 is,
Right.
yes. That's like a $12,000 guitar. Yeah, I do. I do hit a bomb. In fact, I went and had breakfast with him today. Yeah, I keep saying to him, when do you want me to give it back? He's like, just hold on with it. I'm like, all right, whatever. I play that Callings like once a week. But, you know, it's funny. I love the way the neck feels on it, but this is more of my favorite neck, this one here. I don't know if you can see, but it's like a V. It's a V. Can you see that it's a V? It comes to that point.
Yep.
Very much a V.
Yeah. And it's a wide V. It's a 1 3/4. And yeah, I mean it's that rings. So yeah, I mean, it's a master.
Now pull out the Callings.
Yeah, the calling sounds like, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Chimey, it's big. I mean, Krellbach came over here and played them. He played this one and the Callings. Oh, did you play? You played this one, and you played the Callings and my Takamine.
Yep.
What was your favorite?
I like the Callings.
Yeah, it feels like an expensive guitar.
Oh, and you got to be in the room with it. And it's like,
yeah, you strum it. For me, in a live situation, the Takamine works better for me just because it's a wider. So I don't have to look ever. You know what I mean? I'm like, when I'm playing, I'm looking around the room. I'm like, I'd rather do that than be like, fuck, I got one of these jazz chords coming up and I got to have my fingers got to look like I got a, you know, like where everything starts getting like
arthritis.
Crazy. Yeah. I start looking like I got no joke. Yeah, that Collins is amazing. I have an old Decca classical from the 60s. The wood is so dry it floats in the air. Yeah. It's amazing, you know, and that's where, you know, I don't fingerpick much now. Not really. I can, but it's just not really my thing. Like, what am I going to fingerpick and play at 17 by Janice Ian? Then Joe will come over and kick me in the head. Go and cut this shit. You guys remember that song? At 17.
Yeah.
And da 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 da.
I'm gonna start crying in a minute.
It's the first musical guest on Saturday Night Live.
Was it Janice Ian?
Yep. Janice Ian, and George Carlin was the host.
First edition Kramer JK 1000 or 2000, whatever the JK. I don't even know what a JK is. That the Johnny Kramer? Never heard of it. Yeah. But so I like the wider the neck. So the 1 7/8 for a live situation works great for me.
Yeah, my Yamaha.
She did that. That's hilarious. I loved when she was on the Stern show, and they did the song for Jerry Seinfeld for dating the young girl Shoshana, because she was 17. It's 17. Oh, it's great. And so she's playing, and Stern's singing his new lyrics. Yeah, that is cool. Look, that song was a huge hit. That and Poetry Man I used to love by Phoebe Snow. Crazy.
Emily sings that really well, actually.
Yeah. Oh, Poetry Man, she does. Yeah. I think I introduced her to the song too. I don't think she knew it growing up.
Right.
Yeah. It's a great song.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's a great question, Joe. Which video did she share?
Yeah, I want to put the link to it.
And
because I've been going through his videos thinking, I got to watch that one. I need to watch that one. That looks fucking cool.
Oh, the song is depressing. for ugly duckling girls like me. Oh boy, that song.
Those of us with ravaged faces.
Oh, look at Hugh knows the words.
Of course I do.
You know what's funny is I can't get shit past you, and Whitesnake slip by him. How the fuck does Whitesnake get by you, Hugh? They're fucking British.
I know.
Hugh,
Well,
Hugh, you know what? This is what you have to do now.
Right.
Your album to listen to is Slide It In by Whitesnake.
Done.
That's one of the greatest albums of the 80s. In fact, it could be in my top 5 of the 80s of all time.
What year was that?
84.
84.
Okay.
Are you familiar with the album, Joe?
Which one?
Slide It In
Of
by
course.
Whitesnake.
Shit.
Oh, slow and easy. So take me down slow and easy.
That's one of the greatest albums ever come out.
I was out in
awesome.
Arizona when that video debuted.
What was the
on,
other song
MTV.
on that? The other big hit?
Love Ain't No Stranger.
Who knows where the cold wind blows?
Love Ain't No Stranger.
Love Ain't No Stranger. Oh, come on, Hugh. What was it? There was another big one. What was the other one?
Oh, Love Ain't No
You
Stranger.
talk too much. You're never saying what's on your mind. Oh,
Yeah.
Coverdale's voice on that record hit
Yeah,
its zenith.
Gambler,
It-
Slide It In, Standing
Oh.
in the Shadow, Give Me More Time, Love Ain't No Stranger. Side
That's-
2 has Slow and Easy, Spit It Out, All or Nothing, Hungry for Love, Guilty of Love.
oh, it's such a great album.
Yeah, a
every
lot of
song,
love in
Great
his titles.
fucking album.
every
Wow.
song.
Yeah.
Give me just a little more time. Oh, Give Me Time is a great song.
Shit, 1984, and you never heard that?
I wasn't
on,
listening to that type of music in 84, Joe.
You know what's also funny is there's 2 releases of that album. There's a release that's released in England, and there's a U.S. release. And the U.S. I mean, both are really good, but the Sykes is on the U.S. release, not on the
Yeah,
British
there
release.
was a title track that was a hit too. That was the You Talk Too Much and blah blah.
Yeah, Slide It In.
Slide it in.
See,
Yeah,
I
right.
remember at the end, Dave, I was more listening to like Echo and the Bunnymen and the Teardrop Explodes and bands like that when I was like 13.
What was
So-
the thing? No, not that. What was the thing? The teardrop explodes. He's got his finger, the hands on his face, whatever it was.
Do you know the album Kilimanjaro?
No.
That's your thing to listen for next week.
Is that Julian Cope?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Fantastic.
Yeah, at least I knew
album.
that.
Great album.
You know what I think is funny is Echo. I love Echo and the Bunnymen, but I think the best album is the eponymous album, the last one they did. In the, I love that album. The Game, Lips
Right.
Like Sugar, Bedbugs
Yeah.
and Ballyhoo. My favorite song on that record, On the March, Berlin to Bombers Bay. Bombers Bay is fantastic.
Excellent.
I love Ian McCulloch.
Mm. There's an album they done
Hey, have a great night, Jan.
in the mid-90s.
See you later, Jan.
It's really underrated. I can't remember the name of it.
Hey,
Anyway.
Authentically MG.
That Kilimanjaro album is from 1980. It was their debut.
What's the album cover look like? I'll tell you if I have it. Is it the one with where his hand is on the face?
No, it's the band kind of in shade slightly. You can't really see them closely.
Oh, okay.
But it's got two. There was 2 different album covers. There was one actually of the mountain, Kilimanjaro, and
Right.
they changed it a couple of times. So
Kilimanjaro, the mountain didn't have any pants on, so they
that was it.
had to change the cover.
I actually checked. It was only. I think it didn't crack the top 50 albums in the US. That's why probably not a lot of people haven't heard.
Nobody
it.
even knows who the Teardrop Explodes is in
Yeah.
the States.
But there was a big hit over here, and it was off the album. It was a song called "Reward."
Shark Sandwich, Smell the Glove.
Shit sandwich.
Hannah Baum's asking you, did you pick up the Psychedelic Furs new album, Made in Rain?
Did not
20.
No. Haven't
There's
listened
another
to them
voice
for
I
years.
love. It's Richard Butler
Right.
from Psychedelic Furs.
Love my way.
Pretty in pink.
So Johnny Kramer, I had like 5 Kramers. I had a Kramer Pesa Deluxe from 1986. I had a Kramer Beretta from 1986. I had a Beretta from 80. I had 3 Berettas from 1985.
The Cosmo Kramer.
Oh, really? Enjoy the Silence? I love Enjoy This. I love that whole Violator from Depeche Mode is one of the best albums of that decade. I think it's it's 1990. That album's, I think it's the best Depeche Mode album. Are you a big fan of that album, Hugh?
Mm-hmm.
Violator?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was really,
Hey,
really
Janice.
big over here.
What's that?
It was really, really successful over here.
You know what's funny is, so let's go back to 1989. The Cure puts out an album called Disintegration.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely phenomenal. Okay?
That's in my top 10 all time.
Yeah. Mind Bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Same year.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the year in October, the Blue Nile puts out Hats.
Mm-hmm.
Now we get into 1990. Depeche Mode puts out Violator. Cocteau Twins put out Heaven or Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
Now, these are albums that I guarantee you, I don't know, Crowbar and Joe probably don't even know these albums.
Mm-hmm.
They're
I know
friggin'
the albums by title, but
phenomenal.
I never listened to them.
Phenomenal stuff. And Crowbar would love the Blue Nile Hats because it's very much in that vein of that Talk Color of Spring album.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's cut from the same rug, you know what I mean? But I'm telling you, those albums those 5 albums I just named from 89 to 90 are phenomenal. I mean, how good is Disintegration?
It's perfect.
Yeah, I just told Dave today, Hugh. I bought the album,
Cool.
the MP3
Mind
album
Bomb.
the other day. Mind Bomb.
Nice.
Yeah, and that's Johnny
thoroughly
Marr's on
enjoyed
guitar
that.
on that album.
Yep.
And Dave Palmer. How good is Palmer?
Oh, aye.
Oh God, he's so
Excellent.
good. Plays for Rod Stewart now,
Mm.
but he was in ABC and you know what actually album he recorded on, and then they took him off and put the drummer a different drummer on was that Echo and the Bunnymen album from '87.
Right.
He's a great drummer. He's one of the few drummers that I've met in person that when they started playing, I'm like, oh, that sounds like a fucking record. Like his playing's perfect. He's just a machine. He's really good. And here's a guy that most people have no idea what his name is. And you know who replaced him in for the tour was Vinnie Colaiuta.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because Vinnie plays on Dogs of Lust on the record.
All right. Didn't know that. Cool.
What's that? Yeah. And Vinny also played on the Wedding album.
Mm.
Duran Duran,
Right.
Ordinary World, Come Undone. That was all
Wow.
Vinny.
There
Yeah.
you go.
So did Warren Cucurullo.
Yeah, well, he was the guitar player. He wrote those songs. Here's something funny. I was talking to Warren once about the song Come Undone. And I was playing it I play it on the song. Everyone here know the song Come Undone?
Duran Duran. Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe I do. I remember Ordinary World.
But it's like
Pick it up.
see from
Oh yeah, yeah.
you know that whatever that girl sings. But anyway, so I was talking about it. I was playing it on an acoustic while I'm talking to him, and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm playing." And then he goes, "Oh no, it's played up here." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He played it on the trans trem. So he plays it in E with open strings ringing, and the guitar's been brought down 2 whole steps. Isn't that hilarious? I was like, wow, man, that is so cool. Who do you love when you come undone? The SM1. I love that. Great song. I also love.
Oh, that's
Ordinary World.
That's Ordinary World.
So
do a
good.
lesson of that.
I did it already.
Ah, shit. I gotta find it.
Yeah, it's on. It's like one of their. I did it like when the first year I did my channel, because I play that live. That we do that in AM station a lot. I did it the cigar night, the night we did it at the cigar place. I got to call that guy tomorrow because I think I'm going to try to book March 4th, Krell,
Oh, okay.
over at the cigar place. The original Stage Master. So, Joe, what music have you been listening to lately?
Listen to this band. Let me see if I can pull it up on my. Go to the album. Fucking phone is a piece of shit.
Do you guys remember the Kramer guitar? This one people don't remember that well. I believe it was called the Medalist.
Nope.
That sounds almost like a pedal.
It was called the Medalist. Look that up. It almost looks like the S series Ibanez. You know the thin Ibanez, the ones that thin out.
It's this band called Earthless.
Earthless.
Yeah, Medalist
Yeah.
3.
Night Parade of 100 Demons. It was recommended by Spotify. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, shit.
And this is
And then-
Christian music?
No, it's not.
Oh, I'm
No,
sorry.
doom metal, I guess you could say. But then it turned, like, you know how Spotify just keeps playing? It turned it into its own, like, radio station. with
Oh,
all
yeah,
this,
right.
Like, yeah. And it's all this, like, really, like, heavy instrumental, kind of like Led Zeppelin kind of stuff. It's a lot of it. And I'm like, yeah, every fucking song was like, okay, keep going.
Ah,
Keep going.
excellent.
Very
So,
good.
yeah. So this band called Earthless, pretty damn good.
I must say, Joe, I liked what was the name of the band again?
The Outfield?
Play Deep.
Outfield album.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it very much.
I love that album. I think that
Great.
from beginning to end, that's a great album. Very upbeat and happy,
Yeah.
which is not me at all, you know. But
Oh,
yeah,
you weren't
that-
here last week. I think I knew every song on that album except one.
Yeah,
So I
yeah,
must have-
every-
I must have
like I
listened-
said, it's like a perfect album. Like every song is great.
Yeah.
Did everyone like? I gotta
Yeah.
admit, I didn't
Yeah.
listen
Oh, yeah.
to a fucking album.
Oh yeah, well,
so
I
out of it.
remember the album when it came out, and I had heard all the songs, but from that time until now, the only song you would hear is "You'll Love." It's like that's the song that withstood the test of time. I mean,
Oh,
that's
I
the
think
one
Say It
that-
Isn't.
yeah.
I think Say It Isn't So is a better tune. Hey, there's the fuzz.
Yeah, that was the
Super
first
Fuzz.
one that got
A
released.
lot of fuzz for $25.
And All the Love is a great song. That was another single.
Hmm.
Oh, he's got one too.
Oh, you got it
Hold
too?
that up. Hold it. Get a little closer to the camera.
But how many pounds did you pay for yours, Hugh?
Oh, not many.
Less than 25, probably 19.
Probably about 19. Aye.
But you know what I love when they review these? Well, but it's made of plastic, so we can't say how long it'll last. Like, I know they call it a stomp box, but you don't really got to fucking stomp on
Exactly.
it like a Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Jump
no,
up.
A little press. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Aye.
yeah.
Come on.
You could always rehouse the circuitry too.
I've never broken a pedal in my life. Ever.
Neither have I. And I have stepped on them. And I am very, very big. And used to
I've
be
had
like-
one go
The
wonky.
snow.
I've had one go wonky, but that was the Ibanez Sound Tank.
I played outdoor gigs in the snow. And that's not necessarily broke a pedal, but maybe I would say that one may have short circuited a switch that the company fixed for nothing. Thank you.
Oh, that's cool.
I may have negated to tell them that it was after my snow gig.
But did you play Snowblind by Ace Frehley?
Oh, we played Snowblind by Black Sabbath. What you
All right.
get and what you see. Things that don't come easily.
Well, Snowblind was also Styx
Camel.
too.
And Camel as well.
Camel?
Aye.
Were they Canadian or were they British?
British.
They were?
English, yeah.
Camel. There was some really weird, because they're a prog band.
Was it? Yeah, I remember that song Echoes that they had.
What was the other band that had the album where the two hands are writing each other, drawing each other? What was that band?
Paul Moore.
Gentle Giant.
Gentle Giant, yeah.
They had one song that I thought was really cool. And then afterwards, I started wearing tights and I was walking around like a minstrel. I'm like, I probably should turn this off.
Well, there was all the Canterbury bands like Camel. Have you heard Caravan?
No.
They're actually
Why
pretty
is
good.
it like a lot of British bands, they do the whole, they get dressed up like it's 16th century green sleeves and they're wearing the tights.
Well,
It's all Robin Hood music.
Google the town of Canterbury. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, right.
I mean, even Richie Blackmore's been doing that.
Well, Richie, we already
I
talked
call that
about why
minstrel
Richie's
rock.
doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, anything to have that lovely lady.
Richie Blackmore's got like a girl 40 years his junior
Yeah, Black
with a
Moore's nice.
bustier saying, we should do minstrel rock. He's like, yes.
Got it.
Sure.
Yep.
Whatever you want.
I'll wear the tight pants. Yep.
Whatever you want. As far as I'm concerned,
I'm
it's two
76
girls in a
years old.
cup,
I'll wear
do.
the tight pants.
Richie Blackmore's agreeing to doing two girls in one cup. He's like, I don't care. Whatever you want to do. We'll do it all.
2 girls, 1 goblet.
Unbelievable.
There's so much potential for a joke.
So you won't be doing Lemon Party.
Yeah. So, Richie, if you don't mind, Steve Morse is going to be doing all your cool gigs. And you can come dance around with a flute and a lute and wear your tights. And we'll watch from over here. But the show's in Canterbury. Yeah, we're going to stay here in London. And where the hell's Canterbury? Anyways, you say it like we all know it. Oh, Canterbury, that old. We just take
It's-
Highway 4. Where's
It's-
Canterbury?
It's south and west of London.
Southwest. Oh, okay.
Below,
So not too
Closer to
far from like,
Wales.
below Cornwall.
you know where Kent is?
Yeah, below Kent.
Wow.
A wee bit below that.
Because Kent, you're out in the woods.
Yeah.
Kent, every house is like huge farmhouses. They're all big houses in Kent. It's a wealthy little area.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, southeast. Okay. Yeah, I thought you said southwest.
He did say southwest, but is it southeast?
Yeah, it says southeast.
I meant to say east, sorry.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Right
that's
next
right.
to Faversham.
John Paul Jones had that Dutch boy haircut. Yeah, he looked like the Jack of Diamonds, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh man.
So could you imagine?
That's a
Everybody,
good one.
John Bonham on drums, Jimmy Page on guitar. The Jack of Hearts is playing bass? What? Oh,
Man,
fuck you guys. That's a great bit.
that's a good one.
On bass, the Jack of Diamonds? What the hell how did he get in here?
Tour dates.
Next thing you know, wait, he's playing mandolin now? When Robin raised his ugly head, Robin turned around and fled. I did not.
Yeah, Holy Grail.
It's only a model. Unreal.
With the 2 coconuts.
Yeah.
You know, they actually meant to have real horses for
Yeah.
that, and they used the coconuts as stand-ins, and they realized they weren't getting the horses, so they just left the coconut shells in.
That's fucking great.
And
It's
yeah,
classic. It's a classic. Oh, all the way to Canterbury, folks. for the minstrels. But do you guys remember the band Gentle Giant, or is it just me and Hugh?
I remember the name Gentle
I don't
Giant. I
remember.
couldn't name any songs.
What did they play? What genre?
It's prog, but I'll tell you the
Jazz,
song
jazz
to check
prog,
out. Hold
like-
on. I'll tell you the song, and you'll put it on, and you'll be like, "This is actually pretty good." It's the best song they have. Watch everyone be like, "No, they have better songs." I haven't heard it. Oh, the album's called Freehand. The song is called Just the Same. It looks like the guys' names were Schulman. There were Jews in England back then.
What is the album called?
Freehand.
From
And the song
75.
is called Just the Same.
Never heard of them.
I've heard of them. I just haven't heard.
I'm looking up
anything from
Schulman.
them.
I want to see what he looks like. They're Scottish. Born in Glasgow. He was a rabbi. I'm kidding. Doesn't say that.
Well, the bassist, Ray Schulman.
Yeah, please.
It wasn't a rabbi. It was a rabbi.
Gentle Giant. I just didn't know. I didn't know the Jews were allowed to live in Scotland back then.
We're allowed.
But look up Just the Same. We had a very limited place we could go. They were like, you can go to New York, you can go to this part of the Bagel Belt in Massachusetts, and then after that you have to consult. The Bagel Belt.
Well, they released the 2021 remix of Freehand. Should I
Oh, they
listen to the
did?
remix or the original?
Yeah, listen to the remix. I'm telling you right now, Just the Same is a really clever. It's a good song. It's good. Hugh? Did you like them, or you just knew of them?
Oh, I've somewhere got at least 2 albums of them.
Of course you do, because nobody has 8 Genesis albums with Peter Gabriel and then doesn't have one Gentle Giant record. That's goes against all human nature.
That's correct, aye.
But Gentle Giant reminded me of that. They like that Canterbury type of band.
Very much, very much.
You know what I mean? Like I could see them walking around in tights.
Even some of their album covers, you've got like actual giants on it.
Right. And with the thin beards and everything looks like everything looks like the Gulliver's Travels.
That's correct. Aye.
We'll never make it.
Glum.
Yeah,
We're doomed.
we're all doomed.
You know what one of my favorite albums was? Probably still is, but I haven't listened to it in years. You ever hear the Rick Wakeman from 75, The Myths and Legends of King Arthur?
Yeah,
the Knight of the Round Table.
And he staged that tour on ice too.
On ice.
Really?
On ice.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
King Arthur on ice.
Oh my
Yeah, I think it
God.
lasted
That
1 or
keyboard
2
was like
shows,
that.
and then yeah.
And you know what? I saw that show when I flew out to Canterbury.
Yeah, I think it went like a few shows, and then this ain't working.
I just love this one line. King Arthur received positive reviews, though some labeled it a symbol of progressive rock excess. That makes you just want to listen to it. But yeah, the album does go on. The whole album just keeps going on and on and on. But if you like Rick Wakeman,
Yeah. Let me tell you, in
And King Arthur.
1975, when they were like, are you going to go to that Rick Wakeman show? Yeah. I got tickets to go see the Stones because I'm a heterosexual.
yeah, but Rick Wakeman was on ice.
Oh, it's on ice. Who the hell was doing this? Who was doing the writing for that? Bruce Valanche?
Oh my goodness.
There's a bit where Bruce Valanche, Joe, I haven't talked to you about this. You know who Bruce Valanche is, right?
No.
I do.
So Bruce Valanche is like, you ever watched the Hollywood Squares in the last 20 years, the redheaded guy? He was like a writer for the Hollywood Squares when Paul Lynde was doing the
guy
jokes.
that he was like had no neck like this.
Exactly.
Oh, he's fucking hysterical. Love that.
He is
guy.
hysterical, and he writes
Yeah.
for everything. And so he talks about how he was a writer on some special for some Barry Manilow special. And every Barry Manilow song at the end modulates up the pitch because that's all he knows how to do. And all the writers used to joke and make fun of him. And they used to call him Mary Modulate. That's my favorite name for Barry Manilow. You gonna see Barry Manilow? Yeah, Mary Modulate. Let's go.
You got to hear
Looks
this
like
background.
we met.
In
What is it?
1975, Rick Wakeman took on the challenge of a lifetime, creating King Arthur on Ice, an ice show designed to complement his second studio album, Myths and Legend, King Arthur and the
Wembley
Knights
Ice Show.
Roundtable.
Good.
Show was performed to 3 sold-out audiences at a financial loss at Wembley Arena in London. Received some of the worst reviews in figure skating history. Was even
I
brought to
want
light
that.
on
I,
VH1's
that's,
100
please. I
most
wish
shocking
someone
moments in rock
recorded
and roll.
that.
Yeah, it's got to be somewhere on YouTube. Can somebody find that King Arthur on Ice from Rick Wakeman?
I like this too.
And the sad thing is Rick Wakeman's a great player.
Phenomenal.
John Taylor, Mary Modulate's unbelievable. I love that.
Here's
He
how
also-
it came about.
There's a great bit where Bruce Valanche is
Oh
talking
my
about
God, the whole concert's on YouTube. I'm
Is
even
it?
joking. Rick Wakeman, 1975, live at the Empire Pool, King Arthur on Ice.
Listen to how it came about being on ice, though.
How?
Management wanted to put Legends of King Arthur on at the Albert Hall. I wanted Wembley, but there was this big ice show happening a week or so later. They told me it was impossible.
Oh.
I was fuming, so I told Melody Maker I was going to perform King Arthur at Wembley on ice. So they made a big story, so there was no going back. So he
There
put
we
in his
go.
own money, and they
Everybody to enjoy. Oh my God.
They're like, Rick Wakeman, you sold 4 copies of this album. Joe owns one of them. You sold 4, and now we're going to go $4 million in debt to build this ice thing here and get these skaters in here.
Hey, Rick, you should put this album on ice.
Okay.
Oh, we
very
weren't
nice.
talking literally.
But the girls are skating in like stockings and lingerie. They didn't have that.
And his
in
guys
King
dressed
Arthur's
up
time.
as horses.
It's not historically correct, Dave.
This is
We can't have
Spinal
that.
Tap.
Yep. Yeah, it has Stonehenge beat by a mile.
Aye.
Ah, the 70s. Ah, the
Unbelievable.
French.
Exactly.
Ah, the 70s.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh my, and the comments are turned off. Can we figure out why?
Well, you know what it is? It's all the Rick Yes heads, the Rick Wakeman that'll go to the mat arguing that it was the best show ever, all these fanatics, and all the other people just telling them you're fucked in the head.
They were like, it's even better than Shields and Yarnell. What?
Shields. I used to watch that when
Oh
I
my
was a kid.
Goodness.
Everyone did. We had 3 networks on TV. If Shields and Yarnell was on TV, let me tell you, 10-year-olds were watching it.
Mime's money.
So when I worked at Alva's Music, Alva's originally is a dance. They make dance stuff like for it's a dance studio, and then it became a store, and then it became a guitar shop and music shop. But next door, you've seen it if you've seen it on YouTube, like live at Alva's showroom. It's a beautiful stage for concerts that they have. When you go in the lobby, there's pictures of like Shields and Yarnell who used to rehearse there back in the 70s. Oh, it's brilliant.
They got kicked out for being too loud.
Now, what was Yarnell's first name? I don't
come
remember.
on,
But
anyone?
what happened?
I said they got kicked out for being too loud.
Oh, it's terrible. They're mimes, folks.
crickets.
People don't know they're mimes.
Cricket.
But she was on an episode of Wonder Woman where she plays like a superhero evil villain girl.
That doesn't talk.
No, she may have talked. I mean, she was just a mime, but
What was her name?
Yarnell was her last name.
They're more of a curiosity. I mean, parents and their kids always
More
watch it because it's
curiosity.
yeah.
As morbid as the new Jan. Bruce Valanche, by the way, telling stories of the new Jan is some of the best YouTube videos.
She played
The new-
Formicida.
She played what?
Formicida. What the worst female superhero name ever. A
Right,
deadly
that's who she-
pesticide threatens the human race, and a strange ant woman threatens a billionaire industrialist. Oh my gosh.
It's rotten. It is rotten.
Oh my!
Needless to
All
say,
right.
the only reason to watch the show is Linda Carter. So I mean,
Hold on.
if you're watching Wonder Woman, other than to see Linda Carter in the outfit,
I'm putting a link in the.
Oh my God.
secret
I
chat.
never
Look at this
realized
wig.
this.
Look at this wig.
if you're watching Linda Carter for anything but to see her in the costumes, you might go see King Arthur on Ice.
Everybody, check out this wig. This is the greatest picture you'll ever see.
Former Cedar. Hold on, let me see. Oh yeah, it's ridiculous. Laureen Yarnell.
You see, now that's the kind of hair that Alvin Collins had to tame.
Oh yeah. Well, see, you got to that hair would look better if she had a little bit of lubrication in there, some soul glow.
Always slow glow.
Yeah, I'm looking Shields and Yarnell, and I'm looking at the pictures. Shields looks like Prince if he were white, right? And I'm looking at Yarnell, and she looks like Shelley Duvall if she was made to look more attractive.
She looks like the
Yeah,
soldier
what
guards who guard Buckingham Palace.
She looks like she always has the expression on her face like she's looking at a dumpster fire.
Who?
Yarnell.
Yeah,
She always was that like, because they were mimes. All they knew how to do was go.
What?
They had a
Yeah,
fucking
look-
variety show. What the hell was TV that bad that we had to have a variety show every five? How many variety shows can we name that were in the 70s? You had the Paul Lynde one, Sonny and Cher, right?
Wasn't that Flip Wilson?
Well, Flip Wilson had a show, the Flip
That
Wilson
was a great show, though.
But I mean, like these variety shows.
Geraldine.
The worst was the Bob Hope ones. Bob Hope would come out and tell jokes, and I remember me being young going, I don't get it.
I have to say one thing. I had completely forgotten about Shields and Yarnell, and I don't know that I'm happy
Yeah, I
that
did
you
too.
reminded me. I don't know that I'm too pleased about that. Some shit from my childhood, I'm glad.
Donnie and Marie had that
Yeah.
that variety show.
I'm
Weird
a little bit
tongue roll, yeah.
country. I'm a little bit rock and roll.
Yeah. Well, Hee Haw was a regular show. I mean, like the variety shows that were on at night where they had like it was the special guests for the week. God, it was terrible. Terrible television.
It was
Shit,
70s
yeah, I
variety
know.
shows. Let's see what we get.
All right, let's see which ones we remember.
Okay, well,
Kim
Variety
Stafford
show.
show I used to like. I know
70s.
if you're-
We got popular variety shows that ran in the 70s include the Flip Wilson Show, Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour,
Yeah.
the Bobby Goldsboro Show,
God,
that-
he horrible with Honey. That
the
song he
Hudson
had.
Brothers Razzle Dazzle Show.
I remember that.
I wouldn't call this one a variety show. The Midnight Special, that was just great music on
That's
it.
not variety.
No.
Well,
Yeah.
they did
No.
have some guests and
Oh,
stuff
yeah,
that
Captain
weren't
and
music.
Tony-
but-
Tony Orlando and Dawn went for 2 years from 74 to 76.
Oh boy.
Donnie and Marie, 76 to 79. Sean and I had their show. My father every night had
Yep.
that on. Forget about
Yeah.
that. Entertainers with weekly variety shows that ran for one season or less in the 70s. Here we go.
All right.
Captain and Tennille, the Jacksons,
Excellent.
the Keene brothers,
Oh, the
Bobby
Keens were
Darin.
terrible.
right? Bobby Darin, Mary Tyler Moore, Julie Andrews, Dolly Parton, Shields and Yarnell, the
Oh,
Manhattan Transfer,
man.
the Starland Vocal Band, and finally, the
Hosted
Brady
by
Bunch.
David
The
Letterman.
Brady Bunch.
Yeah, the Starland Vocal Band had David Letterman. Didn't the Brady Bunch had a variety show? Oh, theirs was terrible.
Well, here we go. But then we
That
have
was with the new
entertainers-
Jan.
Entertainers with variety-based TV specials include the Carpenters, John Denver, Shirley MacLaine, Diana Ross. Paul Lynde hosted a string of but Paul Lynde shows were always fucking hysterical.
I love when Paul Lynde's the singing Mountie on F Troop. I talk about it all the time, but
I love this
can-
sentence right here. By the early 80s, the few new variety shows that were being produced were of remarkably poor quality. I would argue that they were all remarkably poor
they're all
quality.
terrible.
Looking back, they're all pretty fucking flimsy. Shit. See for infants, the infamous Pink Lady and Jeff. I don't want to see anything called Pink Lady and
That
Jeff.
sounds very familiar. What year was that?
Oh shit! I closed the tab. Let me go back. Pink Lady and Jeff. Pink Lady is an American variety show that aired for 5 weeks on NBC in 1980.
80. I was going to say 79. I remember it.
Duo of the same name. Are they kidding me? Also referred to by the Pink Lady and Jeff, referring to co-star Jeff Altman. The show was riddled with complications, including the dispute over the name. God.
Jeff Altman was a comedian?
Yeah. He was an easy money.
He tried out to be George on Seinfeld.
The first episode has
he ended up becoming the doorman.
4, 5, 6. It has 7 writers.
What does?
The first episode has 7 writers.
I want to know how many of those shows Bruce Valanche wrote on.
I guess you can just pull up Bruce Valanche's
The Flamingo. What did you say you saw? The Flamingist gay guy? What does that say? What? Ray Johnson Jr. Oh God, remember that? You can call me Ray.
Ray J. Johnson.
Right.
Yeah.
How that wasn't funny back when I was a kid. Again, that was another one where I'm like, yeah, I don't get this guy. I never thought Guido Sarducci was funny. Huge.
Don Novello.
I never thought he was funny.
I could understand the Unknown Comic with the paper bag, but that shit was stupid.
Oh, I love Murray Langston. In fact, one of Hugh's favorite movies is Night Patrol.
Mm-hmm.
With the Unknown Comic, Murray Langston.
Oh,
Flamingist. Oh, the Flamingist. Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh my goodness. Valanche was a co-writer for the Donnie Marie Show.
Oh,
1978's negatively received Star Wars Holiday Special, the short-lived Brady Brunch Variety Hour.
Have you seen? Wait. First of all, have you seen that Star Wars special?
Yes, of course. I saw
have to watch. Aired. So you have to watch the Bruce Valanche interviews where he talks about all these shows. He goes into detail about like why things were, and he's just making fun of it. He's like, it's so ridiculous. Like talks about how like George Lucas wanted nothing to do with it. Oh, it's hilarious.
Valanche ended up looking like a Wookiee with less hair.
What else? Keep going. What else did here's more here? There. What else did Valanche?
He did the short-lived Brady Bunch Variety Hour. After cancellation of the Brady Bunch show, he went on to write jokes for Lily Tomlin, Billy Crystal, Roseanne Barr, Rosie O'Donnell, Paul Reiser, Dame Elizabeth Taylor, Steven Tyler. He wrote jokes for Steven Tyler of Aerosmith. What jokes did he tell? And Robin Williams. The night before the final broadcast of Johnny Carson's Tonight Show, Bette Midler serenaded Carson with "You Made Me Watch You" to the tune of "You Made Me Love You, I Didn't Want to Do It," with lyrics written by Valanche. This man's written a ton of shit.
He's brilliant. Really funny. Oh yeah, John Taylor. I love that. When Peter Allen's playing with the maracas. Yeah. I mean, television in the 70s was just unbelievably horrible. But there were 3 networks, so we were prisoners to it.
Yeah.
Okay, when Valanche wrote for these comedians, it was for the Academy Awards when they hosted the Academy Awards.
Oh.
So
what is it?
When he wrote the material for these comedians, it was for when they hosted the Academy Awards.
Can they not come up with something funny themselves?
I don't know.
Oh, this guy. I've seen this guy. I can't even look at it. I can't even look at that, Brad. No, these guys all
fucking puppies.
Yeah, it's a great Larry.
Hey, Larry, right. How you doing?
Rafterman, will gentlemen appreciate the flag. These guys always a good night. All right, hey Rafterman, thanks so much for hanging out with us tonight. Getting curious. Oh, it's a frightening world we live in, folks.
I'm surprised with the variety shows no one mentioned Jim Stafford show. I used to like that when I was a kid.
I never even heard of it.
You've heard Jim Stafford?
Yeah, snakes and spiders or whatever it's
Yeah,
called.
he had like a puppet on there as a sidekick. TV series 1975 to 1975, one season.
1970 April 1975 to April 1975. It's on 1 week.
Oh, Richard Stahl was on that too. You know who Richard Stahl is, character actor. Gallagher was on there. Karen Valentine.
Karen Valentine.
Bernadette Peter, well, guest. Ken Berry, Tony Tennille, Loretta Swit. Oh, these are all guests.
Hanoi Bomb with the Buttman reference.
Yeah, I love John Staliano. Didn't he? I think he got AIDS.
Yeah.
And then Seymour Butts kind of took it from there. Adam Glasser. All good stuff. Brilliant director. But Joe tends to more like the Andrew Blake and John Leslie style of directing.
I also like the appreciate the Lewis brothers of Detroit. You know, they worked with Annette Haven. So
I know Annette Haven. I know John Leslie.
the best was when back in the 70s and the really early days when those films actually tried to have plots and stories. They were fucking hysterical.
It's a real film, Jack.
Yeah, I saw that quote coming. Boogie Nights.
I'll get the typewriter. We'll come up with some things. I'll break out the typewriter. I love that bit in Boogie Nights. Oh, it's great.
Jack
Great
Horner.
movie.
Wow, that movie's 24 years old right now. Holy shit.
Did you ever see when Siskel and Ebert would review, like every now and then a porn movie would come out and they would think it was so good that they would edit out all the fucking and try to release it as a real movie. And I swear, I'm telling you, a few times I watched it being reviewed by, Siskel and Ebert, and I was sitting there fucking dying.
Well, look at what they did with Caligula. It's like you
But
got all these
that's a whole
name.
monster on its own, right? That's a whole.
You got these name actors, John Gilgood. You got who else was in there?
Malcolm
McDowell.
Malcolm McDowell. You had everybody in there. Helen Mirren was in there.
Helen Mirren.
Everyone's in
But
that
what they
fucking-
did is that they shot a legitimate film. Still probably was bad, but late at night they brought in the porn actors and they shot all the porn scenes. They were horrified when the movie was released that their name was tied to it.
They probably got more press than they probably.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
But,
and
you have John Gilgood playing this up.
It's still out there getting released and re-released and re-released. So it's probably made a lot more money than other movies they've been in. So think about it. Not that
I
they've
love
seen any of that money.
Russ Meyer's films. Russ Meyer's had it right back in the day.
Big Tits and Run With It.
Faster Pussycat, Kill, 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 and I think Marilyn Chambers' Rabid was a Russ Meyer's film.
No, wasn't that David Cronenberg?
Who did Rabid?
Yeah,
Why did
that
I
was
think it's
actually
Russ Meyer's?
that's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
Let me see.
Oh, you can't hold a candle to Roger Myers,
Mike
creator
Myers.
of the Itchy and Scratchies.
Rabbits
Gee,
came out in
scratchy shit.
1977. Independent body horror film written and directed by Cronenberg.
Oh, it was.
David
Yeah.
Cronenberg.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that movie because at the
What's
end,
the
it
Russ
was-
Myers film I'm thinking of? Wasn't she in a Russ Myers? Maybe she wasn't.
Let me see.
Vixen, no. Oh, definitely not.
Well, he had Faster Pussycat, Kill, Kill, Beyond the Valley of the Dolls,
Yeah.
Vixen, Beneath the Valley of Vixen, a Motorcycle, Lorna, Mondo Topless. Well, yeah. I don't know. Black
Yeah, I
Snake.
don't think so.
There's Even the Handyman. I I don't know.
Let me see.
But I remember 10-year-old me had seen Rabin and was like, whoa, they're just throwing bodies into the fucking garbage truck, you know? And now 54-year-old me is like, people are garbage. They should be just fucking thrown.
1959, The Immoral Mr. Tease and His Playthings was released by Russ Meyer.
Yes, Brian.
That's ahead of its time. Mud Honey.
Okay.
You love the movie Insatiable.
Yeah, Marilyn Chambers. Yeah.
That was Jonathan. That was written and directed by Jonathan Demme. Caged Heat.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Wait, Jonathan Demme, is he the one that did Silence of the Lambs?
The name is familiar. That's why I got to look it up.
Or is
Yes,
that Ted
There were two
Demme?
Demis.
Yes, he
There were
did
two
Silence
Demis.
of the Lambs.
He also, I think, now call me if I'm crazy. Didn't he also
You're crazy.
direct an episode of Columbo?
I'm looking.
I'll tell you in a second.
I'm all in. I say he did.
Come on. Oh,
Director.
Columbo, Murder Under Glass, 1978.
You're damn straight. Now, hold on. Let me just see. Murder Under Glass also, if I'm not mistaken, Peter Falk's wife is in it. Go to cast.
I'm going to
Tell
cast.
me the girls' names. I'll tell you which one's his wife.
Beautiful. Shara Denise.
Boom. That's his wife. Click
Okay.
on her name.
Oh, yeah. She was previously married to Peter Falk. Yeah.
Yeah, till he died.
And the synopsis of the episode is food critic Paul Gerard.
It's a
who
great
has been
episode.
extorting money
Hold
from restaurant. Oh, go ahead.
Michael Gazzo is in this episode, who plays Pantangeli in The Godfather. He plays the guy who's being extorted.
Yes. He
Michael
plays
Gazzo. Hold
Vittorio
on, I'll tell
Rossi.
you who else, if I can think of anyone else that's in this episode. What's the hell's the guy's who's the killer? The killer's name is
Well, there's a famous Asian actor who only had one name. Also,
Mako?
Yes. Well, I was going to ask Dave to guess it, but you got it. Yeah, Mako. He was in Conan, was it right? He was in Conan.
Yeah, he was in Conan.
who's the
also
killer
in
in
Hawaii
this one? What's
5-0.
his name?
Jack Cassidy.
No, the killer in Under Glass is the French guy. What's his
Louis Jourdan.
Louis Jourdan. Thank you very much. Yeah. Now let me try to think if there's anybody else famous in this episode. So it's the food critic one. Oh, yes. The other chef is a big actor. What was his name?
Well, I don't know who it is, but
It's Mako's the girl, right? she owns the
Alberto Morin as Chef Louis.
Nope.
Larry D. Mann as Albert. Richard
going.
Dysart.
There you go. Dysart.
As Max Duval.
Richard Dysart.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I love Patrick McGowan. Patrick McGowan's in I think he's in 5 or 6 episodes. I think
Richard Dysart was in The Thing as well. He's the one that got his hands bitten off.
Yeah, he's the doctor.
So I think McGowan he's in the episode where the cremation murder. He's in the episode where the guy murders the he's an attorney and he works for the guy running for vice president, and he murders the guy that's going to threaten that election. And then McGowan murders Leslie Nielsen in an episode. McGowan is the killer in the one with the army recruits, the military school, whatever it's called, the military.
I remember that was that the one with the Boodle Boy?
Yeah, with Bruno
Boodle
Kirby. That's 4. And then what's the 5th one? If he's in, hold on, McGowan is the CIA guy. Oh, he's so good.
You know, I actually had to give a presentation at work last week, PowerPoint, and one of my slides had Columbo on it.
Excellent.
Because my
It's a
presentation
great
was
show.
about. Well, you know what? The presentation was about how to engage customers and get good customer satisfaction surveys. And I had a whole slide about, we're all on the same planet. We all pretty much watch the same TV, movies and stuff. And I told the story about how in 2017, I said to a customer, let me turn into Detective Columbo and solve this murder mystery. And they started laughing their ass off. And I use that line, and no matter what age someone is, everyone fucking loves Columbo.
Oh, it's great.
And
Brian, I think
everyone
the one when Columbo goes to London, I think it's the Richard Basehart one, isn't it? Columbo goes to London, and John Cassavetes. Yeah, I think the movie was called Husbands. It's 71, Peter Falk, Cassavetes. Cassavetes is also the killer in Etude in Black, where he's the piano player and he kills the girl that he's having an affair with. Oh, what was the other guy's name? Ben Gazzara.
Oh yeah,
Ben Gazzara
he was in that crew. Yeah,
yeah.
They were the whole crew that hung out together. Falk, Cassavetes, Gazzara.
My favorite Columbos, I think, are the Jack Cassidy ones. But you know what one I really liked was one where the guy had the dogs, Laurel and Hardy. And when they got the word Rosebud, they would attack. And that's how he had his dogs kill this guy that was having an affair with his wife.
Yeah.
Rosebud.
It's a great one.
I remember the last thing I saw Ben Gazzara in, he was the bad guy in Roadhouse.
Roadhouse, yeah.
Right?
Oh God. Ben Gazzara.
What a career, and then Roadhouse. Oh.
Yeah, and I think that was the last thing he was actually notable.
Was it? Because that's the last thing I remember him in.
Yeah.
And he was great in it. It wasn't a terrible movie, but
I like when the guy says, "You knew the command." Nah, I didn't know the command, but I had it here. Columbo's such a needler. I'll tell you another good episode I watched the other day was Rip Torn. It's a later one. Rip Torn is the jeweler, and he kills Gary Kroger. What I was telling you about.
From Saturday Night Live.
And you know who plays Rip Torn's wife in it?
Who?
Betsy Palmer.
Oh, okay. Mrs. Voorhees.
Unbelievable.
oh my goodness. There was the nurse had a classic Rip Torn on today. I was laughing my ass off from the kitchen. If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball.
Yeah.
Oh, that Shatner when it's Ward Fowler, when he's the direct he's the what's the name? What's his Lieutenant what the hell's he call himself? He's he plays like a Columbo type of sleuth, and he kills his manager. And let me try to think who else is in that episode. Oh, it's a classic. That's when he wears the ski mask, and he kills her in the deli.
Let me see.
It's a ridiculous a lot of these Lucerne, Detective Lucerne. Thank you, Brad. Absolutely, yeah. He's in a couple of episodes. Shatner. He's Lucerne in one. He's the one where his daughter, he kills the guy who was trying to take his stepdaughter to New York.
He was in two of them.
Yeah.
Well, what's the episode where Shatner's wife dies in the swimming pool? Oh, wait, that was real life.
Crickets.
No, that was a good one.
Well, because John Taylor had the same joke a second before you.
Oh, he did? Oh my God. There it is.
Yeah, you got.
Yeah, Me TV has this
I
article.
didn't see
9
that, John.
celebrities
Holy
who
crap.
became unlikely killers on Columbo. Number 1, Eddie Albert.
Okay, I'll tell you the episodes. Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Eddie Albert is the Marine who kills the guy who kills the ex-Marine. He's a Marine, and he kills him with his gun, and he ends up putting the gun on display, and Columbo solves it. That's a great one.
What's the name of the episode?
Oh, I wouldn't.
What are at least tell me what season?
It's early.
It's season 1, episode 3, Dead Weight.
Dead Weight. Okay, yeah.
All right, next
He
one
takes him out. Go
is
ahead.
Robert Culp.
Well, Culp's the killer in a lot of them.
Yeah, he was
Culp,
in there one,
he's
two,
the
three
killer.
times.
Yeah, he's the killer in the football one where he kills the guy who owns the football team. Yeah. He kills the wife of the guy of the he's following a woman for a guy, the husband, and he kills her when he's got the security agency.
Yeah. So he was in season 1, Death Lends a Hand.
Yes.
Season 2, The Most Crucial Game.
And then way later.
Yeah. And then, but season 3, Double Exposure. So he said he would portray a blackmailing PI, a backstabbing football GM, and the shady, quote, motivation research specialist.
He's in 4 episodes then.
4? What?
Because
3.
He's in a way later one where Culp is the kid's father in season 10 or 11.
Yeah.
It's called Columbo Goes to College.
I'm going to look that up.
Okay. Columbo Goes to College. He plays the college attorney.
All right,
He's
but
not
they're just listing the kill as a killer.
He's not a killer in it. Absolutely.
Yeah, he is there. Robert Culp. Columbo Goes to
College. I know.
1990.
Yeah. Said it was a later one.
2 college students decide to murder their professor during a class that Columbo is teaching.
It's a fucking great.
Not a good idea.
Oh no, because they think he's an idiot. He plays into it. It's great. I love that episode. All right, go on. Give me another name.
All right, next one, number 3, Leonard Nimoy.
Leonard Nimoy's the surgeon with the stitches, the sutures.
Yep, Stitch and Crime.
Stitch and Crime.
2, episode 6.
Okay,
this one's got to be easy for you. Number 4, Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash is. I don't even know if I know the name of the episode, but he plays Tommy. We all know that one. That's the one where he kills his wife.
Swan Song is the episode.
Swan Song, that's it.
This one's got to be easy. Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke's the photographer.
Yeah, it's called Negative Reaction. Okay.
Yep, he's the photographer.
And this one, come on, you got this one down. Number 6, Patrick McGowan.
Patrick McGowan's the killer. I think it's 5. It could be 4 or 5. How many?
They have listed 4. So
they don't list the later one.
Yeah.
All right. So
they must, because one is season 10.
Okay, season 10. He's the he's the attorney for the he's the DA or the DA assistant. But he's an attorney and kills a guy that's going to blackmail him to help him.
Here's some interesting facts. Okay, I'll tell you the episode. Season 4.
No. Patrick McGowan is also he's the CIA agent that kills Leslie Nielsen. He's also the military school leader. That's 2. 3 would be the season 10 when he's the attorney for the senator, and then. Wait, McGowan, come on, McGowan. Columbo. Oh, what the heck? What is the last one?
The season 10?
No, it was season 10, the one where he's not.
They don't say what it was. They just give
the cremator guy.
Season 4 is called By Dawn's Early Light, so that's got to be the military one.
That is the military one.
Season 5 is Identity Crisis.
Identity Crisis, he's the CIA agent.
Season 9 is Agenda for Murder.
Agenda for Murder is the one where he's the lawyer, right?
They don't say what it is.
And then season 10 is going to be the one when he runs the funeral plow.
Ashes
the funeral
to Ashes, yeah.
That's it, the cremation one.
This is actually interesting. I wonder if you know this trivia. He's not only on record as playing a killer in 4 episodes, he directed 4 episodes, and he's the only guest star that has the honor of winning an Emmy for a Columbo episode.
Really?
He won an Emmy for a Columbo appearance, a feat he accomplished twice.
I love the way he says, Columbo. I love McGowan. I do. I love McGowan. Go ahead. Who else you got?
I got to see what he got the Emmy Awards.
Columbo.
Yeah, outstanding guest actor in a drama series, 1990. Patrick McGowan as Oscar Finch on Columbo.
That's the attorney, Oscar Finch.
And in 1975, it was on Columbo NBC Sunday Murder Mystery Movie.
That's right.
But yeah, he won both. He was nominated twice and won both for Columbo. Shit.
75 would probably be the CIA one because it was a later season.
It might have been Dawn's Early Light season 4.
Could be.
Number 7, Janet Leigh.
Janet Leigh is the actress who loses her memory and her husband doesn't, and she kills her husband because he doesn't want her acting anymore.
It's called Forgotten Lady, season 5, episode 1. It says
she's an actress.
She goes down in history as the only murderer to not get arrested by Columbo
because because she has Alzheimer's and she doesn't even remember doing it.
Oh, that's fucking interesting. And then number 8, William Shatner, which we went over.
Right, Detective
number 9, and this is the last one, George Wendt.
George Wendt is in a way later episode. Yeah. I'd say season 11, 12, or later. It's season way 10, late.
Episode 10.
Okay, see on my things, it calls that another season because that's here. That's an episode with Rod Steiger, and he kills his own brother who owes money around town. George Wendt. But Rod Steiger ends up getting him, and he ends up giving himself up because of Rod Steiger. It's a mafia one,
but I don't know because
he owns horses.
All right, okay, strange bedfellows.
He's a gambler, and he ends up having to kill him.
He plays a horse breeder and employs an elaborate scheme here involving drugged racehorses, mice, and a folding bicycle.
Yeah, that's all it says.
That's all it says.
Oh, that's ridiculous. Yeah, Rod Steiger plays the mafia boss on that episode.
Oh, here's an article you would love. This new cookbook breaks down Columbo's best guest stars by collecting celebrity recipes. Number 1, Peter Falk's pumpkin lasagna. My gosh.
It's so
this
great.
Must be things they ordered on the show.
If anybody here has like TV, like your like a Roku or anything like that, download Tubi. Every Columbo is free on Tubi.
Oh, you know what I've been watching on Tubi?
And if you have Prime, I think it's on Prime too, right?
Not every one. It only goes up to season 9.
Tubi is fucking great. I started watching from season 1, I Dream of Jeannie.
Oh, God. Who do you like better, Dick Sargent or Dick York?
No, that's Bewitched.
Oh, Bewitched. I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry. Who's the guy that played
separate people until years ago?
It's Larry Hagman.
Oh, it's Hagman.
John Daly,
right?
John Daly played his superior.
How many series of Columbo were made?
Well, sounds like whatever he
loosely into seasons. Because Columbo is something that whatever, the network would always beg him to come back, and whenever he felt like doing one. That's why you see young to.
Well, it took him a long
season
time.
Could be one episode.
Yeah,
they were producing a lot of. It was in a rotation. It wasn't big seasons because they were doing every other week. It was like couple of years. It was him and Banachek, and there was a third one. So it was like he'd be on like like twice a month.
He never wanted to do a weekly series.
McLeod.
Yeah,
McLeod,
well, it was also a longer show. The shows were an hour and a half.
Yeah, they were like,
with commercials, they were like a 2-hour special. Yeah. So it was.
I mean, that's what at one point in the later years he was like, "I'm just going to do 4 a year." I think he did, right?
No, they did. They had
movies.
The first Columbo's like in the 60s. It's like 69, the pilot, and then 71, and then 72, and then they started in with
directed by Spielberg.
Spielberg directed one. Yes, let me see if
it was the first one he directed.
It's either the first or the second.
I think it's
It
the
says
first.
it
Let me
started
look
in
it up.
71. It doesn't say anything about the pilot being in
Hold on.
60s.
Columbo. 68 episodes.
Yep,
Pilot
Steven Spielberg directed the first episode of the Columbo series. A 25-year-old Steven Spielberg directed the first non-pilot episode of Columbo, Murder by the Book, in 1971.
So I'm right. It's the second one. It's not the pilot. There were two pilots. And they were aired. February 68 was the first episode. March 1st, 71 was the second.
16 fascinating facts about Peter Falk and Columbo.
Yeah.
Number one, he had Ross Martin as a summer camp counselor.
Oh, really?
Ross Martin.
Ross Martin.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
He was
Artemis Pyle.
Artemis, yeah. No,
Pyle,
not
not Artemis Pyle.
Pyle's the drummer from
Pyle's the
Skinner.
drummer. Artemis,
I make the same mistake, Dave. I make the same mistake. Artemis, and every time I think of Pyle, I can't think of the other
that's what I
character's
did.
name.
Well, he was the first actor nominated for an Oscar and an Emmy the same year.
Artemis Gordon.
Artemis Gordon, thank you. Who my buddy is convinced he wore a rug.
He wasn't the first actor to play Columbo.
Really?
How about that? Though the character Columbo first appeared on television in 1960, it would be nearly a decade before Falk would become synonymous with the Rumple Detective. First, Bert Freed played the LAPD Flatfoot in a 1960 episode of the anthology series The Chevy Mystery Show. A couple years later, Thomas Mitchell, pictured to the left, played the sleuth on stage production Prescription Murder in San Francisco. When it was decided that the play would be turned into a television movie in 1968, the lead was offered to Lee J. Cobb and Bing Crosby, but Falk landed the part.
Yeah.
Okay, 68 was a TV movie and 70 was the pilot.
Yeah.
Columbo's first name is Frank.
Yep. Lieutenant. In one episode, they say it.
Columbo popularized the inverted detectives story. I always love that. That's so original, right?
Yeah,
I don't even
know
know
who's
they
dead.
say it. I think he shows his. I think he shows his ID and it says it. I don't think he ever says his name.
They show the ID. They have the picture of him holding it out.
Yeah,
Columbo
I don't think he ever says it.
Frank Sinatra. Falk appeared in character as Columbo in a 1978 episode of the Dean Martin Celebrity Roast, in which Old Blue Eyes was the target.
I think was Cannon at that one too, because I think William Conrad was there. By the way, that's a great Columbo with Robert Conrad owning the gym.
This one I remember. He starred in a women's wrestling comedy flick. I saw that a billion times as a kid.
He's in the legendary Princess Bride.
Yeah. He plays the grandfather. He supplied Columbo's wardrobe and often ad-libbed. Perhaps to add further authenticity to the LAPD detective, Falk personally supplied his character's shabby clothes. One anecdote purports that when asked whether Columbo's trademark raincoat was in the Smithsonian, the actor retorted that the garment was in his upstairs closet. Probably was. Falk also ad-libbed extensively as the character, throwing adversaries and fellow actors off balance with improvised misdirection. That's why the show is so great. He has a bronze statue in Hungary. I guess he's Hungary.
It was his. He picked the car. He picked the Peugeot. Yeah. I know that. That was his thing.
That was probably his dog too.
No, it has to be several dogs because the shows were so wide out. In 1990, he has the dog too. That is, you know what I mean? I think there's 3 or 4 different dogs.
I guess he was to Hungary what Jerry Lewis was to France, because they paid $63,000 for a bronze statue of him.
Unbelievable.
And it's literally him like this, you know, the old befuddled look.
Oh, one more
Yeah,
thing. It's
yeah, it's
probably
hysterical.
nothing, but I have to.
Yeah.
I love the way he's always like, "Oh, it's my captain. He's going to drive." I have to put it in the report.
I
It just
wonder,
doesn't make
I wonder if
sense.
the statue survived the whole anti-statue cancellation movement of a year last year, right?
Right.
But everyone loves Columbo, so maybe they left it alone.
I guess he looked like Confederate general with a cigar.
Appearing befuddled with cigar in hand and rumpled raincoat, a life-size bronze statue of Falk and his iconic character graces Falk Mixa Street in Budapest, Hungary. Installed
Next
in
to a dog.
2014 at an estimated cost of $63,000, it is believed that the actor is a relative of the street's namesake, a 19th century Hungarian political figure.
There's a great episode where he has a brand new raincoat and he hates it, and
I remember that.
That's the episode that Jack Cassidy is the magician and the Nazi. One of my favorites. It's called Now You See Him.
I remember the new raincoat, and he's just so uncomfortable in it.
But he keeps leaving it behind. And the sidekick on that episode, who reminds me of the poor man's John Shuck, keeps going, "Oh, hey, you forgot your what's that actor's name? I gotta know his name." He's like the poor man's John Shuck.
What episode? What was the name of the episode?
It's called Now You See Him.
I'll need to get back and watch all of this stuff again.
Oh,
haven't watched it for quite a while.
Yeah, now I want to watch Columbo.
Dishy.
What?
Well, we got
Bob
Peter
Dishy.
Falk, Jack Cassidy, Nehemiah. No, was it Bob Dishy?
Is he like that curly-haired detective with him?
He
He played Sergeant John J. Wilson.
Yes. I call him the poor man's John Shuck.
Yeah,
He acts like John Shuck when Shuck was on Macmillan and Wife.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. I recognize that face.
Also, what's the name of the guy who gets killed? What's his actor's name?
in that episode.
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't know, but let's.
No, go to the actors. I'll tell you.
Oh, the actors, we got Peter Falk, Jack Cassidy is the Great Santini, Nehemiah Persoff is Jesse Jerome,
Yes.
Robert Loggia.
Click on he's Robert Loggia runs the kitchen.
He's great.
I love go kick on Jesse Jerome guy.
Yeah.
You'll see in his filmology he was on an episode of the Hardy Boys.
Oh God.
The episode when the band Bread was on.
I can't even remember an episode of Hardy
He was
Boys.
on Magnum PI, Scarecrow, Mrs. King.
But what's funny is he gets killed by Jack Cassidy on Columbo, and then later he's in a TV show with Sean Cassidy.
Yeah, Hardy Boys. He was in a two-parter. He played Vladimir.
Yes, he's Vladimir the Russian because Bread comes off tour out of Russia, and their $50 speaker is missing.
Oh gosh.
And it's all let the chaos ensue when a missing
$50
speaker
speaker.
for $50.
Holy
It's
shit.
the most absolutely ridiculous.
Stupid.
You know what? We have
premise.
a
Excuse
$50
to get
missing
bread on
speaker.
that.
We think somebody stole the speaker so they could defect to the United States. We've got to bring in the Hardy Boys. They bring in these two doe-eyed idiots, fucking Sean Cassidy and Parker Stevenson.
Pamela Sue Martin. Take it easy, Krell. I had a massive crush on Nancy Drew. Yeah, Pamela Sue Martin was attractive.
Oh yeah.
Hanoi Bomb's asking if we ever watch Monk with Tony Shalhoub. I love Ted Levine on that show.
I haven't yet, but I do want to.
I love Ted Levine on it. You know who he is.
Yep, and puts the lotion
Speaking-
in the basket,
Speaking of Jonathan Demme,
or gets the hose.
it puts the lotion in the basket. It does this when it is told.
Yeah, he was also in the
Mister.
remake
That poor
of.
guy got
he was
typecast
in-
from that movie.
Well, he was
No, he
also in the
refused to be
remake
a
of
in any other movie.
Hills Have Eyes. Hills Have Eyes. He was in Evolution with.
He's an American gangster. He was on. He
Yeah.
plays a cop in almost everything. He says
He was in The
he doesn't-
Mangler with Robert Englund.
The Mangler.
Yeah.
Hey, you working on anything these days? Yeah, I got a film coming out called The Mangler.
Mangler.
That sounds lovely.
Sounds better than Chopping Mall.
Was
I
Ted
don't know.
Levine in Chopping Mall?
No, I'm just saying.
I was gonna
You
say,
gotta go with
I
names.
was
He's in
unaware
a
of that.
great movie called Bullet with Mickey Rourke.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, it's great. What are you, about a size 13? He's so good in that movie. My favorite's when he goes, Mister, do you recognize this? Do you know who? And he says the girl's name. Is she a big fat person? He's so good. He's great in American Gangster. That's a great movie.
Yeah, well, other stuff was he in? It's like he was in a ton of shit.
So no, what he was. It's great. Oh, dude, we brought it on WhatsApp.
Dead.
Yeah, what is?
My ass is killing me. We're 3 hours and 5 minutes.
All right,
Holy
we're gonna
shit.
call it because we gotta get some sleep. And
Weren't we supposed to go over some albums really quick?
I didn't even listen to them. All I know is Outfield.
Oh,
Don't worry
okay.
about it.
the outfield. That's last
I'm
week's.
talking about the ones from last week.
I don't think he knew
No
what was
one gave
going
me a
on.
list. I would have
no one
listened.
gave him
I would have pretended to.
Okay, well, we'll save it till next week. Their two albums were
What was the genre? What were we choosing?
No,
just
what it
an
is
album.
it's we pick 2 albums, and then next week you and Krell pick 2 albums for us to listen to.
Oh,
That way,
okay. So what
it
do we
was
gotta
easier. So
email me.
MSG.
yeah, I said Michael Schenker Group, MSG from 1981,
I've heard that. Love it.
and Hugh said Selling England by the Pound by Genesis.
Well, I know that one as well. Great albums.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, well, I had
And
to
is there
revisit
like,
it because I knew
well,
the songs, but I hadn't listened to them in a while.
Are we going by what year, what genre? What are the?
No, it's just
no
you pick out an
genre.
album that you think
I like that.
people haven't
Okay.
given a good enough listen, a sturdy listening to.
Rick Wakeman
So
on Ice.
you don't need to stump anyone with this.
Yeah.
It's like I found that because I was having a problem coming up with one because I was playing. Oh, geez, well,
Yeah.
I gotta stump Dave and Hugh,
Yeah.
and it's like,
Yeah, no, it's not about stumping. It's about saying, hey, like, let's put it this way. Who's Next is a great album.
Yeah.
When was the last time you listened to it?
Exactly.
If that's your pick, you'd say, go back and listen to it, and
That's
you'd
a
make
good
someone
idea.
listen to
I
something
like
that
that.
you know, it doesn't have to, you don't have to sit there and try to wow. And it's not about turning somebody onto something necessarily new, but just, hey, give this a proper listen. And with me, probably more times than not, like with Hugh, I'll never stump Hugh, except if I say White Snake, slide it in. But then, Hugh, you got to go back and listen to that record.
Hey,
and
that
try to
Corrosion
see
of
if you can find the
Conformity.
American pressing.
That Corrosion
What
of
disturbed
Conformity
me-
shows was awesome.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
what disturbed me about Whitesnake were two things: the use of the word "love" in their songs. I mean, one album could easily have the word "love" in the title 4 or 5 times. "Love Ain't No Stranger" was.
And I love that album.
It's like
I love it too.
and his use
With
of the
lovely.
word "ain't." Use of the word "ain't" just seems.
There's a great Benny Hill.
Love.
There's a great Benny Hill episode where the girl is in her like brown panties and she sits down and Benny's the wife. And then there's like Jack Wright is the old guy who plays the father. Or it might be Bob Todd. And the girl says, and Benny's like there with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth. Where were you last night? And she's like, I was at an orgy or a gangbang. Ain't that a hoot? And Benny Hill gets all mad and goes, after me and your father brought you up respectfully, and you still say ain't.
I remember that.
I remember that one.
That one in
Those
the
are great
commercial when when Benny's cleaning the dishes and he's like, you're using new lemon, and she's like, yes, it makes everything clean. Yes, it gives it a sparkle. It makes everything lemony. What are you, a bleeding idiot?
Janet Leaves was one of Hill's angels. Janet Leaves
Yeah,
from Frasier.
yeah.
Yeah, she was one of the Benny Hill girls.
Benny Hill doesn't get enough credit for being brilliant. Why do the
yeah,
British, like, what the problem is? The British are so pompous, and I don't take this wrong, Hugh, because I consider you a Scots. The British are so pompous. Benny Hill was funny as hell, and they're like, oh, no, Monty Python is the funny humor. Benny Hill was for kids. Well, then call me a kid, because that's fucking
really?
funny.
Oh yeah,
He was funny.
freaking hilarious.
The Bionic Baby.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched?
When he did the karate one, and who knew the genius of doing it is taking the music and the film and speeding it up. You know, it just do everything fast in fast motion.
He's
Especially
brilliant.
when he slaps Jackie right on the head.
Keep him home with Benvril. This guy's ridiculous. He was so funny.
He did a series as well that was specifically for the American market. Do you remember that?
What's that?
He did a series that was specifically designed for the American market.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Only
No,
came
because he's
to
saying
light-
it was. They didn't have it. The last season they didn't have in England, or
no,
Or maybe
they just,
that's how they marketed it to us.
right.
Every now and then you got nip slip too. I remember
They
a
were
woman
like-
coming off
they were
camera.
like, "Oh,
and
those
her
Americans,
chest
they
came
laugh
out.
at anything," and we're like, "No, Benny Hill's funny. Look, Monty Python's funny. Some of the stuff isn't, though. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
It's very dry.
But that's
in
what they
some
call that
points.
British humor.
The pet store thing with the bird.
The parrot's dead. It
Yeah,
ceases to exist.
Okay, you know what? I'd rather watch Benny going, "Hello, everybody." I'm laughing. I'm
Well,
laughing
you know
at
what's
Prince
hilarious?
Stills.
Well,
I'm just saying, I
one of the
love Monty
things that
Python. Don't get me wrong. I think Cleese is brilliant. I mean, A Fish Called Wanda is one of the greatest movies ever. But I love Life of Brian. I mean, all the movies I love. But don't sit there and be pompous and say, "Well, that's real humor," and Benny Hill's cheap. Benny Hill's funny.
The one that had me laughing when I was a kid from Monty Python was the William Tell one. You ever see that one? Where you see the kid with the apple on his head, and then you see John Cleese as William Tell. He's aiming. Then you see the kid with the apple on his head staying really still. And then he lets go of the arrow and it goes right through the apple, and you hear the crowd go up and cheer. Then it shows the kid, he's full of fucking arrows. He's dead with the apple on his head.
I loved on Benny Hill, the deputy. Remember the deputy? And they show Benny like this. And then all of a sudden, he draws the guy and shoots the guy dead, and and they have to show it in slow motion that these were fake arms.
That's right. I remember that one too.
He had fake arms like this, and then Benny pulls out the two guns and shoots the guy. What do you think about it? Just his face when he's like, and he like walks away. Fucking gold, everybody. That is gold.
Comedy gold. Comedy
Oh yeah.
gold.
You know what? I gotta see if those are on rerun on streaming.
Ugh.
Benny Hill show.
I got the box set on DVDs right behind me.
No, that
Oh,
was
you
on
do?
Yeah,
Dave.
right
That
in
was on
cabinet right there.
that was on 56 around here, wasn't it? Channel
Yeah.
56, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah, they make a lot of jokes about Nicholas Parsons on the show, Bob Todd, Jack Wright.
Jackie
Such
Wright. Yeah.
Such a great show. Did you guys have that? Like, did you grow up with that, Hugh?
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched it every night with my father.
But did you guys find it funny, or were you like, "Oh, this sucks"?
I still like it. My father loved it. But a few of my friends, when I've kind of grown up, look back on it and they're a bit kind of, I don't like it.
What are they looking
got-
back at?
I
They're
got-
looking at Rick Wakeman on ice? The hell's
In fast motion with Jackie Wright.
Oh, that's a
I
classic.
don't know.
one.
They just,
Oh,
some of them are just prudes, the kind of sexism and all that kind of stuff.
That's what's funny about it.
Exactly. Aye.
Yeah.
It's
Look,
just
I'm
them being
watching, I'm
prudes.
watching the first season of Genie, and there's shit that they could never get away with today. Am I supposed to never watch it again?
Exactly.
No, that's what I fucking laughed at then. I'm still gonna
Yeah, it's
laugh at it
amazing
now.
they got away with some stuff in Genie, but she couldn't show her belly button.
You know?
No,
on,
but I mean,
come
that
and
shit's
cancel
funny.
me. I like
And-
I Dream of Genie.
I've always said
They pulled Benny Hill out because they thought the show was too sexist in the
I know.
80s. And it's like, give me a fucking break. That's
It-
the joke. That's
I've
the
got a
comedy
question
of it.
for you. Barbara Eden or Elizabeth Montgomery?
Barbara Eden.
All day.
All fucking
Yeah.
day, all night.
I agree, but you know, I found Elizabeth Montgomery very attractive too.
Now, she was young.
Mm.
But
Gig young.
when she got a little bit older and she was on Password Plus,
Oh yeah, she started showing
Not
her.
a looker.
Yeah,
Not
well,
a looker.
I tell
I'm
you,
sorry.
she resembles. I have a friend that looked like her when she was young, and as she got older, she didn't age very well either. So I guess it must be that certain look. But Elizabeth Montgomery, when she played the Russian girl on the Twilight Zone episode, that she looked wicked hot there.
That's a great. Of course, she was like 19.
Yeah, you know who looks bad at 19?
Nobody.
Right.
Yeah. And Barbara Eden held it together for years. Is she still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's still alive.
Well,
I
as
wonder what
old as
she's
she
looking
is
like
now,
these-
when you look at these, you would think, she must have been beautiful when she was younger, and you'd be correct.
who looks great for her age is June Lockhart. She's
Me.
like in her 90s, and she looks like 30 years younger.
She's still alive, and fucking guy Armando Catalano's been dead for years.
Yeah. And when I say look great, I'm not saying that she's doable or anything.
What
It's
year
just
did
that she doesn't
Armando
look nice.
Catalano died, a.k.a. Guy Williams?
78, I think. Guy Williams. He died young.
He also played Don Diego.
1989.
89. I was 10,
Yeah.
11 years off. Okay.
And Mark Goddard's got to be still
Joseph
alive.
Catalano, better known as Guy Williams.
Yeah. Isn't Mark Goddard still alive?
Yeah. I'm almost positive.
He was considerably younger than those two.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 85. He was born in 36.
36. That was my
Goddard
father's
was?
age. Holy shit. That was my father's
Jesus.
age.
He used to come into this restaurant I used to work in the 80s, late 80s, and I thought he was younger.
Yeah, I would have thought he was born like I thought he would be like Paul McCartney's age. Or
You ever see
something,
that Family
46.
Guy bit where they're like, Don, you go take my adolescent daughter and you go off that way. And you, Will, you go with this mincing homosexual.
Yeah. Oh, the pain.
Shit.
Pain of it all.
Was he straight or gay?
Jonathan Harris?
Yeah.
And my guess is
Oh, in real life? I
gay
don't
as
know.
hell, but it's like
You know what? Aunt Esther, that was LaWanda Page. She was actually Red Fox's good friend from childhood.
yeah, I
and
knew that. That's-
The producers on the show didn't want her on the show. And he was like, if she's not on the show, I'm walking. And they said, Christopher Walken? They're like, no. But that
He was married to his high school sweetheart from 1938 until his death.
who?
What's his name there? Jonathan Harris.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think he was straight. It was a surprise to me. That's why I'm asking, because I think I found out at some point that he was straight the whole time. Well,
There's
can you
a couple of
imagine
conflicting stories.
his girlfriend or his wife watching Lost in Space when he's like, oh, the pain. And she's like, you're talking about the pain. What the hell am I watching here?
The pain of it all.
Is Tina Turner hot? What about Cher? No. No to both.
No.
Not for me.
Yeah, I agree.
That's not hot.
I mean, Cher was mildly attractive when she had the long straight hair and stuff. It's like I wouldn't say she was totally Ugmo or anything.
I heard she's very short.
she is. I would have thought she was like 5'10" or something.
I think she's 5'3". My buddy said he went to a store somewhere in LA and saw her and was like, what the hell is going on?
Well, it
Like,
says-
he thought he was,
It says here 5'9", but that's the internet.
he said she was tiny.
5'9" pretty tall for a woman.
Good night,
I
Johnny
said like
Kramer.
Yeah, let's see. Sheer height.
yeah, it says
That's-
5'9".
Now let's see if she's next to anybody.
Well, she's had that much plastic surgery.
Well,
maybe
she
she's got
spent the
some height.
whole half a career standing next to Sonny Bono, who was probably like 5'3".
I just want to see what she looks like next to Rocky Dennis.
She had 3.5 foot hair.
Eric Stoltz. Yeah. How tall is Eric Stoltz?
I just have to see them next to each other.
Eric Stoltz probably wasn't fully grown when he did Mask in '85.
His head was.
Oh, yes, he was.
I don't think she was ever hot.
Who, Cher?
Yeah. Never,
No, I don't think so.
never my flavor.
No.
No, I didn't think that either. But it's like,
Was she, what was her name in that movie? Rusty Dennis?
Rusty Trombone. What,
No, wasn't that her name?
was it Rusty?
Oh, she's 4'11", Linda? Who's hotter? Barbara Mandrell. I don't know. I'm just throwing out.
Or
Barbara Mandrell could play pedal
Or
steel
Rhea
guitar.
Perlman. Barbara Mandrell or Rhea Perlman.
you mean Ronnie
Who's
James
hot,
Dio?
Rhea Perlman or Ronnie James Dio? Sorry, folks. It's a trick question. They're both the same person.
Oh,
No, I'll
God.
be last in line for that one.
That's when you know you got to end the show.
Who played Carla on Cheers? Was it Rhea Perlman or Ronnie James Dio?
I know. Ask
The
Danny
answer is
DeVito.
we accept any answer.
Danny
All of
DeVito
the above.
accidentally married Ronnie James Dio, and Rhea Perlman's dead. Tina Turner, I never found her attractive.
All right.
I think Angela Bassett's far more attractive than Tina Turner was, the one that played Tina Turner. Though, I mean, what she did for the Tina Turner role didn't really make her look that attractive. But you look at her in Strange Days and stuff. Cher was the only one that wore such skimpy clothes. How can any warm blood do not appreciate that? Now, there were other ones that wore skimpy clothes.
For me, it was, Erin Gray from Buck Rogers all day.
Yeah,
all night.
Camel Toe. Erin Camel Toe Gray. She
Erin
was
Gray
sporting
and Pamela
Hensley.
Princess Adara?
Yes.
Yeah, but Pamela didn't have the camel toe. Friggin' Erin Gray had the superior camel toe.
Now, here's the thing. You get Pamela Hensley and Erin Gray in a threesome. Would you let Tweaky watch? That's all, folks.
Well, I wouldn't let him watch. He'd probably get involved.
It's just he's a necklace, isn't he? Didn't they wear him around his neck? Or was Tweaky? Did he walk?
Tweaky was the little
He
robot.
kind of-
It was Dr. Something that was around his neck.
Oh,
Dr. Theopolis, right? Fucking Dr. Theopolis or some shit.
is he really a doctor? He's a fucking necklace.
The fucking necklace. You know who owns that now? Flavor Flav owns Dr. Theopolis.
Hey, do you mind if Dr. Theopolis
I'm
watch?
surprised
What are you
that's
talking
never
about? He's
been
a
on
fucking
something like-
necklace.
I'm surprised that's never been on something like, the Family Guy, like Flavor Flav with Dr. Theopolis on his fucking neck. Flavor Flav, I don't think she would make a good wife for you.
Could you please get undressed for the doctor? That's your necklace. No, that's the good doctor. We need
Okay,
to.
here's a link. Here's a link to Erin Gray.
No, we want Dr. Theopolis, not Erin.
Oh,
Gray.
well, what
Erin
is it?
Gray.
What is these long links here? Holy crap!
I don't know.
Ugh.
You must be looking in my pants again. Get out of there.
But I tell you, it's like I haven't seen her in that tight outfit since Buck Rogers, and I haven't seen Buck Rogers since. And so, how old
I've
was I?
seen
10
them.
years
They-
old, and all
they
I
were-
remembered was camel toe.
Nah, they showed them like a year ago. They were working, like a couple of years ago. They worked conventions together.
What was that Rick Schroeder show?
Silver
Oh,
spoons,
shit.
yeah, that's right.
I know, but I like
You know what's weird? I didn't like her on that show. I only liked her on
agree.
Buck
Well,
Rogers.
she wasn't sporting a tight uniform.
Who was the? Those are cartoons, Brian. Who? When people say who's better, Wilma or Betty? Those are cartoons,
Well,
It depends on who's drawing them, Brian.
right?
Well, the biggest crime in film history was casting Rosie O'Donnell as Betty, because the cartoon hard-on just went. It's like those who love Betty. It's like Rosie O'Donnell.
But then again, those are the same people that cast Ron Jeremy as Ralph Cramden in the Honeymooners, the Hornymooners.
Well, he also played Fred Flintbone.
Yes, he did.
He did. And he also, in the episode of Cheers, played Enormous Peterson.
Did he? No.
Enormous Peterson. I'm pretty sure that was Ron Jeremy.
I don't know. I haven't rewatched Cheers a lot.
Ed Dana.
I'm not talking about the real show Cheers. I'm talking about the adult Cheers.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, he's not Norm Peterson. He's Enormous Peterson.
All I know is if you got stuck and he was coming up behind you, you want to get out as fast as you
just
can.
making this up?
Right?
What?
Did they actually do a Cheers porn?
Of course, they did everything.
Hold on.
They did everything.
I don't know what it was. When I was like 14, 15, I thought Shelley Long was the shit, and I couldn't understand that in later years. I saw her Night Shift, and she had a nice ass.
I thought she kind of got old very quick.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
She did. I mean, she was cutesy, and it's hey, it's like I said, that scene Night
Oh,
Shift,
it's called
Smears.
Smears. It's in the IMDb. A Cheers takeoff with Tiffany Million as Diane Chambers, waitress who returns to claim a job from Rebecca, played by Summer Knight. John Doe plays Slamabone instead of Sam Malone.
Slamabone.
Tony Tedeschi plays Stiff Caven, and Ron Jeremy plays Enormous Peterson.
Is there a job where you can make up names for these porn characters like that?
I think Bruce Valanche does.
I remember
it.
John Doe actually committed suicide.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. A lot
of
they
didn't know who he was, so they tagged him John Doe.
I was just going to do the same joke. I was going to say he had no ID, and so they tagged him John Doe.
Oh, shit.
Just tells me
who is
either
this guy? We don't know.
Funnier or I'm getting less funny.
Oh, we're at almost 3.5 hours now.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. It's 1:30. That was 3.5 hours of solid.
It was 1:30.
It was solid guitar talk. We have never talked so much music. Just kidding.
Well, look, we learned things. We learned some things. You don't dive bomb with a Bigsby.
We did. We learned that tonight.
We learned a lot of Columbo trivia, and that's never a bad thing.
Never. In fact, I'm going to go watch an episode.
Aaron Gray had an excellent camel toe that impressed the 10-year-old boy. We learned that.
All right.
Yeah, we didn't want to learn that, though. How can we unlearn this?
Oh, my goodness. Columbo and camel toe. I don't want to see those two words together,
I'm going to watch. I think I'm going to watch a later Columbo tonight. One of the newer ones. You know what? I haven't seen the McGowan one where he's the coroner, the cremator in a while.
Ashes to ashes.
Yes. McGowan's great. I love the way he just says, Columbo. That's actually a pretty good McGowan. Columbo.
Thank you, Hanoi Bomb. Good to be back, everybody.
Yeah.
Eventually, my vlog will be back too. Every time I go to record it, or I have video for it, and it's just some kind of fucking shit keeps happening.
Yeah, and the way Joe's dressed right now after the show, he's going to go rob a bank.
I'm going to rob the bed. Shit.
Yeah. No. Hugh, thank you so much for coming on.
Cheers.
My first day back to work, the nurse doesn't come back, and I had to take care of Michael and work. I almost fucking I ripped my arm and leg.
Last week.
The muscle, last Monday. Either pulled the muscle or tore them. I'm all fucked up.
You got stuck.
At my size, I get stuck on the fucking bowl.
Excellent. That's a visual that we want to leave you all with tonight.
Well, there's that story of the person that sat on the bowl all time and his wife fed him and he actually grew into the bowl. You can look that up.
That's the visual. Story. Now that's the visual, not me. Go ahead.
So we're not.
Thank you for that one, Krellbar.
They've not reviewing the albums.
We learned one other thing. We learned.
Yeah, we'll do it next week.
Yeah, there's one other thing
we'll have you back on, Hugh. If you
we'll do it live.
Okay, we're gonna have you back.
Thing we learned before we say goodbye.
What is that?
One other thing we learned is that Hugh is going to train to walk 100 miles, but he won't go 5 fucking feet to that guitar behind him.
So next week, that guitar better be off the wall
Off
and
the
next to
fucking
you,
wall.
ready to go. Ready to go. I'm concerned that I'm thinking maybe he doesn't have any pants on. He doesn't want to reach up, and we get the Donald Sutherland from Animal House ass shot.
No,
Yeah, the unwanted ass shot.
the cat's sleeping over there.
And the
want to
thought
wake
that
him
he
up
was
because
actually
he's over
banging
here.
Karen Allen.
I remember when in 1978, I'm 10 years old, and I'm sitting in the movies, and I see that he reaches up, and some woman looks at me, and she goes, "I didn't need to see that." And I said, "Nobody needed to see
No
that."
one needed to say that.
Here's a question: Karen Allen, beautiful or not? I thought she
No.
was gorgeous. She was freckles and all that stuff.
I would say no.
I thought she was very attractive.
Yeah, see, the
She
problem
had
with
that
me was
thing about
back in the 70s and 80s when I was young, I really was only attracted to attractive people. Attractive people.
Oh, come
Karen
on.
Allen was
She had
terrible.
the freckle face and stuff like that. She was cute.
Yeah. Now, Dave, you didn't mention it. No,
Indiana
new lesson
Jones thought
tomorrow?
that.
What is it?
New lesson tomorrow? You never said anything. Usually you
Oh,
mention every
yes.
song. Okay.
There is a new lesson tomorrow.
And Pentatonics Tuesday night.
Tuesday
on
night,
Full Therapy.
Pentatonics. I already have all that taken care of. Do you want to know what song I'm doing tomorrow morning will come out?
Usually you make us guess, but if you want to say,
Here's the thing. Did anyone watch the show from last night? I performed the
I
song
was
last
busy.
night.
Shit. No.
It was
Well,
a
we know it's
song-
not Brown Eyed Girl.
It's not Brown Eyed Girl.
Not
And it's
Brown
definitely
Eyed Girl.
not. It's Raining Men.
It's not. It's Raining Man.
No.
But I
And
will say
wanted
this.
to watch last night, but I got
It's
tied
by
up.
an artist who passed away this year.
Betty White
Yeah.
had a singing career.
An artist who it was a singer who's passed away this year. And it's probably the most popular song, or second most popular song off this album of his. Huge album in the 70s.
Bob Welsh, no?
Oh, Welch died years ago.
Did he?
What name has died? What have we talked about who has died in the past few weeks?
Meatloaf.
Ah!
Oh, all right.
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Ooh.
Boom. There you go. That'll be out
Are you
tomorrow morning at
you
10.
doing 2 out of 3 ain't bad?
Yeah.
That might
Are-
be one of my favorite Meatloaf songs. Oh, I'm gonna fucking die. I can't wait for
Yeah.
that.
The
Yeah.
Jim
And
Steinman
then-
song.
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh shit.
Yeah. You know what Jim Steinman says too? I talk about it in the thing, but I won't talk about it so you can watch the video and go
Do
in
the-
fresh. It's good. Comes
do the
out
whole
tomorrow, and then I
album.
actually have the lesson already done for the week after too, but I'm not going to say anything about that one.
Dave, do the whole album in 10 minutes.
What's
the
that?
lesson.
The Bat Out of Hell?
Aye.
The sirens are screaming and the fires are... I used to like the song Bat Out of Hell a lot. There's a couple of songs on that album when I was a kid. I was so into listening to the whole album. And even like for that song, For Crying Out Loud or Heaven Can Wait, I was like, oh my God.
Oh, I love the whole album. I love the whole fucking. I'm with you.
Heaven can wait in a band of... It's like, oh my God. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of, like, who's the guy that's Marty Robbins? Remember how Marty Robbins, he did El Paso, but after that,
El
everything was
Paso.
like, my woman, everything was like so important. Ooh, look at this. Look at the album collection.
There we go.
Is he gonna pull out Marty Robbins?
One of the greatest album covers ever, too. Right? I love that.
I had a lot.
Which one?
I'm not even sure, actually.
Which one? Banded Gypsies.
Hendrix.
There we
Band
go.
Gypsy.
Great record. Great record.
There's another 4 Poco albums here that you didn't see.
Oh, yeah. I'm telling you right now, listen to In Settling Down by Poco. It is like the greatest 70s classic rock song. I love it.
Joe, you're a
At
Zappa fan.
Dana, the actual singing was actually done by Ellen Foley, though. At Dana.
Yeah,
Not-
Carla
Carla
DeVito's the
DeVito was
girl in the video,
Video, yeah.
but the singer was Ellen Foley.
Joe, are you a
Who was
Zappa
the
fan?
original lawyer on Night Court before Marky Post?
What'd you say, Hugh?
Are you a Zappa fan?
Yeah, some.
Alan?
Too much glare. Which is it?
Live in New York.
Live in New York.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's the one with
It's a
titties
good
and
one.
beer.
Punky's
You know what
Whips.
Zappa Live one I like better is the one that has Penguins in Bondage.
Oh, Roxy Live and Elsewhere.
Cheapness is the greatest.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, it's just and the song afterwards, I can't remember the name of it. I love that record.
Cheapness.
That's
is
a great.
brilliant.
I ate a hot dog. It tastes real good.
Oh my God, this chair's killing me.
Me too.
She may have done the live shows, but yeah, Meatloaf was the record was Ellen Foley that sang back up on that record and did the
and Todd Rundgren played guitar on
he produced it
too, and he produced it.
Yeah. And what's his name played piano? Wasn't it Roy Bittan on piano? Or Ray Bittan? Was it Roy or Ray?
I have no idea.
Springsteen's piano player.
If you would ask me, I would have guessed it was Jim Steinman.
Steinman was the songwriter. Hold on, let me see.
He was the songwriter, but didn't he play piano for him too?
Hey, Rundgren, all the motorcycle Indian stuff was his Floyd Rose.
That was pre-Floyd Rose.
Pre-Floyd Rose.
Floyd Rose wasn't even out yet then.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry.
Goodness. All right, let's see. It's Roy Bittan plays piano on everything except the song 7. Steinman plays keyboards on some stuff, but I don't think he didn't do the piano stuff. Keyboards, it says.
Keyboards, percussion, spoken word, and lascivious effects.
Ellen Foley did lead vocals on 6, backing vocals on 1, 2, 4, and 6.
Kasim Sultan played on bass on that too. Didn't know that. Edgar Winter plays saxophone on 3 tracks.
Who's saying
Max
back
Weinberg.
up on? Yeah. Max Weinberg sank the Titanic. What are you talking about? The Titanic was sunk by an iceberg. Iceberg, Weinberg, what's the difference? All right, let me see.
What's that from?
What?
What's that from?
It's an old joke where some guys like Jews are responsible for taking down the Titanic. It's like Jews. How do you figure?
That was on a Seinfeld
Jews would
episode or something.
No, it goes. It was taken down by an iceberg. Iceberg, Goldberg. What's the difference? Old joke. Yeah, Weinberg plays drums on 3. Really plays on Bat Out of Hell. I'm impressed. Rundgren played keyboards on.
I got to leave the stream for a minute. If I don't get to
we're going to end it. We're going to end it.
Yeah, we got to end it.
All right, everyone. We're going to call it a night. I want to thank everyone for hanging out with us. Hugh, thank you. We'll see Hugh again next week. And thanks, everyone, for hanging out with us for so long. And we appreciate it. Joe, we'll see you next week. Krell next week. Hugh next week. Yep. And let me cue up the exit. All right,
good
guys.
night, everybody.
Very good.
This guy played Meatloaf as well. W. Earl.
Okay, goodbye, Ted.